go. If
Hello, everyone.
hello, somebody, anybody, is somebody
Is
there?
anybody there? Is anybody out there?
Can you see me? Can you hear me? As Tommy said,
It says eight
see
people.
me, hear me.
I don't know that song. Let us know if you
From the
can
Who,
see us
from
and hear
from the
us.
album Tommy.
Okay.
You know the Pinball Wizard,
Oh.
and he beat Elton John
Mhm.
at pinball.
Good
Uh,
evening, David and LPH. Hope everyone on the stream is having a good night so far.
yeah, so do we.
Hey, Kay Munin, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. I know we got to watch out here. Miss Kitty is here. You can't see her yet, but I'm sure
Yeah,
she'll turn up.
yeah.
So, Extreme Zone
Extreme
says
Zone.
we can see and hear you. Excellent. How's the sound quality? Before somebody complains, because some
Somebody has said they can't hear
I
us.
can't hear you. There's something wrong with your microphone. Why
Uh,
don't you invest in a microphone? There's
but
always
hopefully y'all been having a good day, an uneventful day. Hey, Kentucky Mud, how are
yeah,
you?
Venus Soldier
Venus.
and Greg
Hey,
Hopkins.
Greg.
I
Hey,
can hear you
Venus.
well, they say. Yeah, there's always that one person who's going to complain. They always get something to say. It's all right. What are
Yeah.
you going to do? It's like the Alf. Who saw the Alf special that I put up? I think everybody has seen it at this. There goes Miss Kitty.
Well,
But the Alf Christmas special that I put up that shocked everybody with how like the deep, dark, dramatic turn that it suddenly takes. I worked hard on that one.
oh,
I put
did
a
you?
lot of hours into that to take the original one and to make sure that it transfers properly and to identify all the station breaks and to fit the commercials in.
Mm-hmm.
And almost 50,000 people have seen that so far,
Yay!
and they still complain because I got people in there that are complaining. I hope you. This is a real one. I hope you realize that Folgers commercial is actually from 1989. Oh, I'm so sorry
Hey, Rome Ross.
all the commercials were not from 87 exactly. Give me a break. Yeah, Rome Ross is here.
Hi,
Happy New Year to
y'all.
everybody.
Happy New Year's. And Johnny
Oh, he's
Future,
at work again.
he got to go make that money,
Yeah,
that big money, so he can buy comic books and get stuff autographed from
autographs.
CGC and wait 2 years for it to come back. We understand, Johnny. Go make
And
that
hope you
money.
got yours back. I've seen. We've been seeing
Oh,
videos.
yeah.
Apparently, CGC's been mixing them up because there's people that have been like, I look so weird because of the angle. It's like I have like a missing part of an arm.
Hey,
But
Patrick.
the that they've been getting them back, and they're like, "Oh, I got my Todd McFarlane." But wait a minute,
This ain't
is
mine.
this my book?
My book
And,
didn't have this
yeah,
crease.
and wow, this one's got a pinch, and or is this? Yeah, that's been happening. They've
Yeah.
been doing so much of it. They've been mixing them up.
Yeah. Well.
Raccoon
Hey,
Eyes,
Raccoon
there she
Eyes.
is.
We got your package.
Yes, we did.
Thank you
You'll
very,
see it.
very
You'll
much.
see it on the next unboxing video that we do.
I did a short on it, showing the update because
Yes,
I put it up and showed an update. So that's up.
even on the Lady Pop Hunter channel.
Yeah.
That's where she did that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. And the books, the golden books. That was
Mhm.
great. Thank you. Thank you very, very
Extreme
much.
Zone says you got some good deals on graphic novels.
Oh.
Thanks to Boxing Weeks, I'd get some good deals too if I could punch out some of the people that I meet at the conventions and be like, "This is not the price," and we're gonna have a little conversation about it.
Uh,
How about
Kentucky, we've been doing real good, Brandon. We've been doing very
you
good.
take 5 upside your lip, as Fred Sanford would have said.
Don't listen to David. He just
Anyway, I know that's not what Boxing Day is. I know.
yeah.
I'm just being
Don't
facetious.
listen to him because something wrong with him at times. When he get
Oh,
in
yeah.
front of the camera, he
No.
just gets real strange.
This is me all
And
day.
I don't understand
Don't let her
that.
fool you. This is me all freaking.
Oh no, Robert's working on New Year's too, but I thought you work from home. Are you talking
unless
about
he's
Johnny?
talking about Johnny.
Yeah, everybody feel bad for Johnny. I used to work on the on weekends and holidays. Oh, I hated that 12-hour shifts. I couldn't
That's
stand
right.
that.
That's
I'd rather be home doing whatever I want to do, even if that's nothing. Hey, no.
Gnome Ski is here. Oh, Muna wants to know if Jacob Comics got the issue with the busted slabs. He's gotten into communication with CGC, and he's got paperwork he has to fill out,
Yeah.
and he'll be returning them. However, he got his second case, and apparently there's broken slabs in that too.
We didn't see that video yet. We'll watch it probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
But we just now saw the thumbnail for it.
It's like, oh my God.
Because he said that he was expecting another 25 Friday.
Yeah.
So he got that back. And from the way the little title reads, he got some more broken slabs.
Yeah.
So I felt bad for the guy. I mean, you send it, you work hard, you send in 50 comics, you pay whatever you pay to get it back, and it's all cracking and broken. And then a lot of that, sometimes that can damage the book.
Yeah, if it's been hit hard enough,
yeah,
it can damage it inside that vinyl sleeve. And if they reevaluate those, and he could lose a grade bump.
Yeah, because they're not gonna just put it in another slab with the same grade. They're gonna look at him like, oh,
let's
wait
make
a minute.
Sure. Yeah.
This right here got a color breaking spine tick or a crease in it now. It's
9.4, 9.2.
Yeah, and we saw another guy.
Because he had a lot of 9.8s.
Yeah. We saw another guy last night. He had some books come back from the Todd McFarlane, and one of them was in there all crooked. I mean, literally, it's like, how could you have put that in the slab?
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, that's kind of crooked, because it was a small book. It was
an ash can.
No,
it was an ash can
means,
size. They're about that big.
And it was literally turned in the slab like this. Yeah. And it's like, how are you doing that?
It's in there diagonally, and that they put them inside that vinyl sleeve, and they heat press it first.
Ooh.
So that the crisscross, it's diagonal through the crisscrossing lines. So it was a 9.6. It may not be anymore. So
yeah,
ouch.
Oh.
And it's impossible for you to look at that and not see that happened.
I know.
It's CGC, that it wasn't lined up, and let's fix this. And we'll see. Oh, there's my friend Wiley.
And Marvel fan is here, and Edwin
is here.
And hold on, and Wheels of Doom. And it says, Venus says, back in the early 2000s, I used to work at a Blockbuster, and we had to work New Year's Eve. Oh.
I bet it was busy,
hold on, I think Miss Kitty want to get out.
Miss Kitty is right here.
Oh, that's them upstairs.
That's them upstairs
okay.
That's them upstairs being silly.
Oh. More busted slabs and paperwork. Hopefully the comics themselves are not damaged. Oh, because CGC can't figure out how to ship out graded books. Yeah. And that's the one thing I saw with EGS. They got a specially made case to ship your slabs in. It's a company that makes these special boxes to ship the slabs in.
They make a foam insert designed specifically to go inside of the postal mailers, and I still find that a little suspect personally, because those free postal mailers they send you, the priority shipping boxes, they are free, so you get what you pay for. They are the cheapest boxes made.
Yeah.
So I personally don't use them if I ship anybody anything. But that's how it is.
Yeah. Every time I buy chips, I think of what David says. About half of the bag is full of chemicals and gases.
Well, they fill it with nitrogen.
Yeah, well, that's a gas.
Yeah, it's because the oxygen will make it break down faster.
Whatever, I'd rather it break down and have it all the way up to the top.
If you want a bag full of powder. That used to happen. I remember that when I was a kid, and it used to be full all the way. And 90% of the chips would be smashed up. They'd be little chunks like this. They even made fun of that on an episode of Laverne and Shirley. Where
did they?
They went to pour out she was like, yeah, pour the chips in the bowl. And it was like pouring out cornflakes. Like a bag of sand or something. She's like, oh, they're all broken.
Oh, man. So it is about to be New Year's in 2 hours?
Well, it's already New Year's in somewhere. Isn't it already?
Yeah, overseas in Europe.
Australia
and Europe and all of that right there. Did anyone have any in the past, any New Year's traditions. Did you have New Year traditions?
No.
You never did anything? You
No.
didn't go out or nothing?
I have never even been to a New Year's party.
Oh, yeah.
I've never been to a New Year's party ever. I went to, because I grew up in Boston. I went to the fireworks display once in like my mid-20s. But in Boston this time of year, it's like Antarctica. So and no fooling, because they put out they have like this huge ice sculpture display that they set up.
Oh,
because
wow.
it's that cold out in Boston at this time of year. And so ankle deep in slush, and it's like 4 degrees outside. Fireworks are not that interesting. And plus wall to wall people. It took like 3 hours to get to the train station afterwards.
Oh,
it was
wow.
only a few blocks away. I'll never do that again.
I remember watching Dick Clark Rockin' Eve, and you always would see the people in New York at Times Square.
It's cold there too.
Yeah, waiting for the ball to drop, and there would be millions of people. And I'm thinking, I always just think, how can you see the ball drop if you're not like right up under it, or not right up under? You had to be back a little bit, but all of those people, you would have to be on the rooftop or something like that to enjoy the ball falling.
You have to be on a rooftop to enjoy fireworks at all in the city. How is that fun? Let's stand here and watch a ball get lowered. 10, 9. Can we go home? 8, 7. That sounds so dull. That sounds so incredibly dull. Robert wants to know if it's still cold. No, it's starting to warm up here again.
Yeah, it's been better. The 60s the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Same here. Too cold in Colorado to go out.
You're in Colorado.
Yeah.
Grow a pair.
Colorado is nice. I liked it. I lived there. I lived in Colorado Springs, and it was real nice there. I used to think I wanted to live there, and then I looked it up because when we were deciding where we wanted to go, and Colorado surprisingly is a little liberal.
A little.
It was too.
It got that way.
It was too liberal for our taste. So, our streets was all lit up with fireworks last night, and after they were done down, came the rain. Very humid summer here in Sydney. Oh yeah, it's summer in Australia because they're flip flopped.
And there's you say in Ontario it's mild.
Wow, in Ontario, rain the last 2 days, and now all the snow from the blizzard is pretty much gone. It rained here the majority of the day.
If we do, you won't see it, Richard.
Hey, Richard, how are you?
Yeah, out here too, Munin. They've been firing off fireworks.
Last year, they had like a hour-long display at midnight. It went on for like an hour. I thought they had some professionals out here because it was so big and loud. But it's just people in the neighborhood, and they always do something. Every time it's a piece of a holiday, they got some fireworks.
It's Gilgamesh.
Hey, Gilgamesh.
And he's hearing a lot of stuff going on too. And this Fabio is here.
Hey, Fabio.
Fabio's here.
Hi, guys. Glad to see you again.
Hope you guys have a great year. Thank you for all the content. Oh, they will. Thank you for watching. And we'll, we have more. We have things planned.
Yeah.
And Nomsky is saying Colorado's getting a lot of California transplants. Well, the thing is, even though they're trying to escape where they're coming from, they bring a little bit of it with them.
They bring a lot sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
And that's a shame because you know what it did to where you were. So why would you bring it to someplace else? You're trying to get free, but you're going to bring it someplace else and get them all hung up.
And there's Venus Soldier. It says, I did spin one New Year's Eve in the Czech Republic in 2015.
What's spin?
Party. I don't know.
Oh.
And Shannon is there.
Hey, Shannon. How are you? From Chris and I.
Hope to see you in a few weeks. Oh, you're going to the Atlanta Comic Convention?
Yeah,
you'll get a free T-shirt this time.
Yeah, you get there early enough, pay your little $5. They pass it out until they run out.
And Dr. C Dog is here.
Hey, Dr. C Dog.
Dog. But yeah, hope we have a better year. Not so much. Hope and pray.
That's all you can do.
Yeah, hope and pray. And that is about all we can do. If you ever received a slab better than the one you sent out, what will you do? Oh, you mean if they sent me someone else's slab by mistake? I'd
Mm.
probably see about sending it back. Legally, you don't have to. Just to let you know, legally you wouldn't have to return it because once the mail, even though FedEx is not technically the mail, once something's been delivered to you, it's yours.
Mm.
But as a matter of ethics, because I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of something like that. I would have to knuckle under and say, okay, you know what? I need to find out who this belongs to.
And we've seen videos where people have gotten the wrong thing. I mean, like totally different books. So
Yeah.
yeah, you have to be. You got to have a moral conscience and say, okay, wait a minute.
Well, I don't know if it was Action Comics #1. I mean, I'd have to be on the fence for a minute. Anyways,
I don't know. I don't know if
No,
anybody would
I
even
wouldn't.
send an Action Comic #1 through the mail to CGC and hope that
it gets to them somehow
I would have to
'cause there's a
walk that
bunch
one in and sit and wait.
because there's a bunch graded. But
You got to walk that in yourself.
oh, you think so?
Yeah,
You don't wanna
that's
trust
kind
that
of
one to the mail?
no,
Okay.
no.
No Detective Comics 27 in the mail?
Mm-mm.
No? All right.
Mm-mm. The humidity here is off the charts, plus the heat. 92 degrees. Walk outside and the humidity has you sweating like you're running a marathon uphill in both directions.
And then Gilgamesh is rearranging
Oh,
their collection.
with my movie TV shelves that was 4 days ago. I'm still working on them.
Takes
I
time.
like rearranging the shelves. I actually do. I like putting the new stuff up and organize them and arranging them. I like that kind of thing.
Yeah, Nomsky says he never saw it.
Yeah, I'm like, no, that didn't come to my house.
Was it delivered here? Well, you know the CGC stuff you get a sign for.
Yeah, but they don't know what's in that box. You can be like,
That's
nah,
true.
I got my stuff. This is what I got. You pull up some stuff you already had. No, this is the stuff I got back. What are you talking about?
Robert likes our Silver Age comics. We try. And it's
Mhm.
not always easy. I know that we make it seem like we have an unlimited income. We really don't. We really hunt for those deals, and it's not so simple.
No,
But
that's why we don't get like top-notch grades.
not always. No, it's hard. It's really hard.
You get to read a copy because it's cheap.
I don't know what she's doing.
I don't know. She walking around too much for me. I just went to a new store that had some older Action Comics, but pretty sure there were no #1s hiding
Yeah,
there.
good luck.
Man, if somebody hid that in there and other people done rummaged through and missed it, you need to get it like super cheap. Because
Yeah.
somebody don't know something.
And yeah, we talked about that in the last roundup. In the beginning of each roundup, we do a series of announcements, and that's to Venus Soldier, that of upcoming events. And the next two that are coming up is the Atlantic Comic Convention, and then the Middle Georgia, the comic convention.
And Macon, Georgia is
In
one
Lincoln,
coming
Georgia.
up, I think on the 21st, and then
yeah.
the Atlanta Comic
It's like
Convention.
the 15th.
Yeah, and the Atlanta Comic Convention comes 3-4 times a year?
4 times a year, I believe.
Yeah. And that one's pretty nice. You know, you go around and it's pretty much just comics. They got a little bit of toys in the hallway, but it's mainly just comics. And it's a nice show.
Yeah. We usually have some luck there. Robert wants to know if we collect separate issues, trade paperback volumes, or omnibuses, a little of each.
What is a trade paperback? I was meant to ask because he always
That's
talk
like
about that.
the thin paperback versions. I mean, the like cardboard bound.
Oh, I don't know what that is. I don't have none of those, but I do have some omnibuses. I do have that in collecting volumes. Yeah, I'm trying to collect some runs and volumes of this and that. But trade paperbacks, I don't have. I don't know about David. Hey, Thor.
Thor Anacosta is here. Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us this evening.
This evening. Yeah. So what are your plans?
What plans?
For the new
Me?
year, 2023. You ain't got none.
No, I don't want to think about it. But
what the heck that mean?
But no, I mean, we have plans for the channel, and we have stuff that's coming up. We'll next, actually, one that some people have hinted at for a while, because I mentioned from time to time, I'm talking about either in the roundup or in live discussions, things like that, about how a lot of vintage toys actually cost less than their modern counterparts. And so I'm going to do a series, and I'm going to start with the 90s. And so it should be this week coming. We're going to do a video discussion about 90s action figures, mint on card figures that are a lot cheaper than people might think. And if that goes over well, I can do it early 2000s, 80s, 70s, stuff like that. And because it surprises me, a lot of people are not aware. They think, oh, I can't collect vintage figures, that's why I buy the new ones. And I'm like, do you actually know how much most vintage figures cost outside of the big ones, like 80s Masters of the Universe, 80s G.I. Joe,
Thundercats,
80s Thundercats or Transformers? You're going to pay for a lot of that other stuff is cheaper than you think. And even the modern ones that are remakes of those cost more than the original vintage versions. And I've done an exhaustive list. I've actually spent all week researching it. And I've got about a dozen toy companies that were producing in the 90s. And I've picked out like 3 or 4 dozen examples from those toy companies. And I'll show pictures of them. And I'm talking mint on card 90s properties that are averaged from $10 to $50 a figure.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
Because 90s are just starting to pick up. People who were kids in the 90s that watched those shows or play with those toys, they're just starting to go back and look for them because they've been cheap forever, but they're starting to move, and they could really jump off. And is anything there anybody wants, then now's kind of the time to move on it.
Generally speaking, what's actually the best value for comics? Single issue graphic novels, volumes, or omnibus?
Probably an omnibus.
Yeah, well, it really depends on what you're trying to do too.
If you only want reader copies, you can get, and that's again underrated keys. Like the last underrated key one I did was the first appearance of the Cosmic Cube, which you can get for $20 to $50 if it's like less than 5. If you don't care about condition so much, you can pick up rags reader copies and pay incredibly cheap prices for most of them, unless they're like a monster-sized key. Like you're not getting first appearance of Iron Man cheap, no matter, even if it is a 1. You're going to pay for it. But most of the other ones aren't that much. You'd be surprised.
But graphic novels are a good bang for your buck because you get all of the books compressed into one book. It takes up less space. You pay whatever that price is. You get all of them all the way back from the beginning or whatever. So those are good. And I have a couple of omnibus, and I like reading them because I like reading the omnibus because it's one book, and then you can just flip through it instead of having to pull out the one and then be careful because you don't want to put new spine tape stress folded or anything like that. So it really do depend on what you want to do. I think it depends on what you want to do, but I think the more bang for your buck would be the omnibus. But they can go up there too, though.
Some of them, some of them are expensive. Only you buy it used.
Yeah, you can buy it used.
Wheels is saying there's only 2 comic book stores left in the Sydney area.
Oh wow.
The 90s folded up a lot of comic shops near the end of the 90s, and the end of the 80s and early 90s closed up a lot of card shops, trading cards, baseball cards, stuff like that, for the same exact reason, and it was oversaturation.
Well, we were watching some videos too, and some dealers say that they don't even carry new books anymore.
A lot of dealers we've talked to at shows say that they're trying to move away from getting new books at all. Nobody wants them. They don't sell. The titles get canceled. It's not worth it. It just takes up space, and you can't get rid of them. But people are always looking for the vintage books, especially right now, bronze and copper. And K Munin says they've started looking into comic collecting and not just figures, been trying to dip their toe into Street Fighter.
Oh, okay.
Street Fighter stuff.
They got a Street Fighter comic? Wait, after watching Jennifer, I started looking into comics. They got a Street Fighter comics?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh,
They definitely got figures all the way back to the GI Joe tie-ins when they started with they made a Raw
mhm.
style
Well, I know
Street
they
Fighter.
got the movies, the
Mhm.
cartoon, and then especially the video game. But I didn't. I guess I just never thought about them having a comic. I got lucky yesterday and found Legion Spider-Man
Legends.
Legends with Spider Ham at Target on the shelf. Okay.
And what's wants to know what you're looking at with the Omnibus 20, 40, 100.
I wish I could find an omnibus for $20. I got that Man Thing. Now, okay, this is what I do. Go to the comic shop, look for it. At the comic shop, the Man Thing omnibus was like $150. I always go on Amazon.
Double check.
Amazon had it for $50. So
New.
brand new.
Mm-hmm.
Brand new. At the comic shop it was new. On Amazon it was new. I tried to buy stuff at the stores. You can't find it. I can't find it. Not everybody. Some people have good luck. I don't. So I end up buying stuff on Amazon. And Amazon do sell comic books. I've bought several comic books from Amazon. Now, I will tell you, the picture you see is not the book you're going to get. So you contact the seller and you ask them, hey, can you send me some pictures of the book? And they always do because they know Amazon don't allow for pictures. So they'll email you a picture. But for Omnibus, I do buy them on Amazon.
Mhm.
The ones that I have, all of them I've got from Amazon. I don't think, I'm trying to think, and I'm almost positive I haven't bought any of them. Well, one I think I bought from a comic show, and I wouldn't even call it an omnibus. It's like what is it? I think it's a Joker book, but it's all of the. I guess it would be an omnibus because it's all of the books in one. So, but it's only like 4 stories. So when I think of omnibus, I'm thinking like 100 stories. But all of the stories are in there, and I got that from a show, and that's the only one. But everything else I get from Amazon, and you always find a good price, and then Amazon will sell it used. So
Yeah, that too.
mm-hmm.
Gilgamesh says that they're looking forward to that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, put a lot of research into it, and I'll put up photos of examples, but they're going to be all '90s properties that
Mm-hmm.
again you can find the figures for between 10 to 50 for 10 to 50 each, and a large variety from about a dozen different toy companies, so that in case anybody sees anything that they find interesting, maybe it'll inspire somebody to be like, hey, I remember that, or I might like that.
Yeah.
That's why I picked so many, because it's going to be a lot, but
Yeah.
it's going to be pretty busy. And there's Daquan Mellon, and they want to share their collection. We would love it. You should do a tour video if you have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, and then also David has the Facebook. You can always post
yeah.
pictures on his Facebook, Open by Chance on Facebook.
Yeah.
And then we all look at it.
If you're in the group, you can post photos.
Mm-hmm.
And Kentucky, this is for you. They said there's some photos they came across, some rare Japanese wrestlers, and it's your favorite with a few other legends.
No.
Okay.
Oh, put it up on the Facebook so I can see it.
And Michael says, from
Facebook.
Yes.
See, it connected somehow. I didn't even connect it.
Good. It's working. It says, I've been surprised to find a lot of 90s and late 80s toys for pretty cheap. Yeah, and again, that's why I decided to go ahead and do the series. And I'm starting with the 90s because that's where the most properties are. But there are a lot, even from the 80s, there are toy lines that you'd be shocked, like the Chuck Norris figures there. I don't think I paid even $50 for any of them. And they're all mint on the card, and they're from like 86. So even in the 80s, even in the 70s, you can find stuff that's a lot cheaper than you would expect. Most of them.
Look now, Miss Kitty.
And, Art Star Confidential has joined us.
Yeah.
As we try to catch up here a little bit. They want to know what other omnibus you have other than Swamp Thing.
I don't have. Oh yeah, I do got Swamp Thing. I got volumes 1. Okay, no. I have the Bronze Age volumes 1, 2, and 3. I read the whole thing. And I have the Alan Moore volumes 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think Alan Moore goes up to maybe 4 or 5, but I only have 1 and 2. And honestly, okay, I like the Alan Moore. I like the way he writes, but I kind of really don't care to read anymore. I know that kind of sounds weird, but I just didn't like the direction he took Swamp Thing. I didn't like how he did with Abby. Swamp Thing and Abby really just messed me up.
Mhm.
I didn't like it. I like his writing style. When he went to hell was really good, and when the that darkness came, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a darkness that came over the earth because it was upset, and that story was really good. All of the stories actually was pretty good, but just that whole Abby Swamp Thing, little goings on. I didn't care for that. But I have Swamp Thing, I have Man Thing, I have Masters of the Universe, the mini comics, and they had the other comics with the newer stuff. I got that. Um, I got some others. I have Dark Shadows, and I got a couple of others. Like I said, I got that Joker one, and it's something else. I honestly can't remember. But I'm on Man Thing right now, comic wise. And my favorite, I like the Bronze Age Swamp Thing, but the Man Thing, I'm really starting to like that because Man Thing is pretty heartbreaking. Because unlike Swamp Thing could still think and reason. He could talk, but it hurt his voice, so he didn't talk much. Now, once Alan Moore got to him, he was talking all the time. Man Thing can't reason. He has no memory. He has no mouth. He can't talk.
He emotes. He
Yeah,
picks up on emotion.
yeah.
Yeah.
He can't even understand words, and that's just heartbreaking because he does pick up on feeling, but he's so misunderstood. But you got a couple of people that figures him out, but it's just so sad because he doesn't know anything. He's like an animal. He has like no memory. Glimpses of memory will come to him, and as soon as it comes to him, it leaves. And it's just sad and heartbreaking. But I'm liking that right now, and I'm kind of almost halfway through that. I read on that like almost every day, so I'm on that. But I'm really liking that one right now.
Yeah, we have a lot of similar tastes. I
What
like a
about
lot of
you?
the like Silver Age horror and suspense stories and stuff like that. I find pretty interesting. And here's an oddball one for you. One of the ones I really like is I guess they're technically trade paperbacks. Is the
Hmm.
Tintin.
Oh yeah,
I love that
Tintin.
stuff.
Hmm.
Shannon wants to know if you read stuff of nightmares.
No, I don't think I heard of Stuff of Nightmares. I don't think I ever heard of that one.
And Munin says, funny you guys are mentioning omnibus doing grocery shopping. They saw the Attack on Titan omnibus and almost got it.
Oh, okay.
Almost.
At Walmart? They
Almost.
sell omnibus at Walmart?
Well, we don't look in the book section.
No, we don't.
And Daquan Mellon wants to know what comics we think will be tanking Conan, Spider-Man. Will they hit anything that has a spike that's going to be made into incorporated into a TV show or movie will spike, and then will probably drop to below wherever it was afterwards because the MCU or
DC?
DC will ruin it. So count on that.
Well, it is. We have been seeing a drop in comic prices lately. There has been a drop, but I want them all to tank. I want to fill out my runs.
There's an adjustment going on right now. And Robert says we brought up a good point about comic shops, support comic shops, but some owners are douchebags.
Yeah, well, they are. And
some are bad. Some are pretty bad.
We've talked about that before. We really don't go to comic book shops anymore because of they because of now some of them, like is I think it's Dr. Knows, the one up there. They're
Oh yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
nice. The guy at first, he was kind of standoffish, and then we kept talking to him, and then he warmed up, and now he's friendly. Every
Yeah.
time we go in there, he's real friendly. But they're so far away, we don't go often.
Yeah.
Um,
That's down by Second Chance Toy
yeah,
Store.
yeah. But then is another one that's near us. They're fine. They just don't bother you. You come in, you never ask a question. You ask to get stuff off the shelf. They take it off the shelf. They don't engage. And I guess that's better than being rude. Because we went to one shop and the guy was kind of rude. So I guess no engagement is better than being rude. But then the prices are always kind of high.
That's always an issue. I mean, that's a whole topic of a discussion for a video right there.
We did
some of the
one.
things that are wrong with
Mhm.
with these comic shops. Extreme Zone's
Oh.
reading Deathstroke, Ghost Rider, and Spawn.
David told me that Ghost Rider is an interesting character. I don't know that character, but
Yeah, I like Ghost Rider.
yeah. Happy New Year, Afro. I know. I know. I always see that name and just see Afro.
And he was saying, Munin was saying there are Street Fighter comics, but they're not easy to find. Some of
Yeah.
those titles are really
Easy
obscure,
to
especially
find.
if they're a Star Comics line from Marvel.
2 issues.
They can be kind of tough to come by.
Yeah. Yeah, so I always end up going to eBay, Mercari, and Amazon for my comics. And I'll check the 3 and see who has it and who has it the cheapest. It's usually eBay. When I get them from Amazon, usually I have like gift cards because I always get gift cards from Amazon. So then I'll buy them on Amazon. Then it's been a couple of times I found comics like regular, the regular single issue books cheaper on Amazon. I think about 2 or 3 times cheaper on Amazon than I did on eBay. But
let me guess, Wheels. Is it all like Marvel Legends and Funko Pops? Maybe some Star Wars Black Series in there. Yeah, I heard that, Gilgamesh. They're bringing David Tennant back. That's because they ruined it trying to be diverse.
Like but the last thing I saw, like a month ago, a black guy. Is that the black guy, David Tennant? Is he black?
No.
Because the thing I saw, maybe now Miss Kitty's upset because she heard the fireworks.
The fireworks are upset.
But about a month ago, or maybe even less, I was watching a video on YouTube, and they said that the new guy is going to be some black guy. But I don't know. I don't.
Maybe they're going to mix it up. Who knows?
Maybe
they need to quit trying
Lucky
to play
you guys
games.
Have comic shops. My store claims to be a comic store, but
exactly. Yeah, you're welcome, Art Star. Yeah, people are excited about that.
Which doctor was that?
I don't know because I wasn't watching anymore at that point.
Oh, okay.
I'm stuck in like late 70s, early 80s as far as Doctor Who's concerned.
I watched Doctor Who a couple of episodes with David. I couldn't get into that. I couldn't get into that one. So
that was Ollie's, Robert, and it's a 5-pack, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a 5-pack. Yeah. And Ollie sell a 5-pack and a 10-pack, and I think they're like the same price. But they have a lot, but it's like 4 packs, 4 different packs. You know what I mean? So, and then you have the 10-pack, and it's maybe about 3 or 4 different 10-packs. So, but I might go and try and get another one just to see. It wasn't bad. It had a couple of comics in there that I liked. No joke, I once went into a local comic store and asked about Star Wars Black Series when I was still collecting the time. The lady behind the counter asked me, "What's the?"
Yeah, even people who haven't seen it know what that is.
Yeah,
she's playing with you.
Yeah,
Mud says they sent it.
Okay, cool. We'll look at it.
Here's Gilgamesh getting themselves into trouble.
Oh,
so they showed a girl my collection yesterday. She kept asking how much things cost or if I ever tried to sell anything. I kept
No.
telling her I don't know, I don't care. Nothing's getting sold ever.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
See,
you don't want to. Don't tell her anything.
yeah, she's seeing, she making plans. She counting dollars in her head. She was like, "Oh, Gilgamesh, we were meant to be."
Yeah, and you're gonna come home and there
Mhm.
won't even be light bulbs in your place.
Yeah, and then you're gonna come with that little ring. "Oh, Jenny, you're the girl I've been waiting on." And then she gonna walk down that aisle, and then the next thing you know, you off at work, and you come back and all your
That
stuff
actually
gone.
happened to a guy when I was at Frito-Lay. They said that she, to be spiteful, took everything in the house, including like the window shades, the the plates off of the light switch plates and plug sockets. She took the plates off, unscrewed the light bulbs. There was nothing there. Did it just to be evil. But people are crazy. Shannon saying Borderlands in Greenville has moved to a larger location. They have their comics better displays. I don't think we've been there.
We go to Greenville when we go to the Retroville, but we've never been to the comic shop. We usually go and then come right back home. I think this is the time to buy. I think so too. Just got a new Scareglow. Wow.
Yeah, markets are adjusting right
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
and they'll go back up. But yeah, right now it happens. That's not anything unusual. It's always done that. It's always done that. It's gone up and down at comic and toy markets.
Well, you're also
right
in a
now,
little
it's
bit of
little bit of a dip.
recession too, and then Christmas. People like to try to make some money during
Yeah.
Christmas. I want to sell my stuff, but afraid that stupid tax eBay stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Mm.
And, as well as other problems. He likes David Tennant. Yeah, and I've heard that, but I don't. I wasn't watching then, so I don't know too much about that Doctor Who. Remember one Marvel fan says, "I own 4 stores and it's been hard buying collections. Most want full eBay value. I try to be fair and do get stuff in."
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. The and to an extent, not so much eBay, but a lot of those collecting shows have really ruined markets. And we've talked about that a lot before. Those reality shows where people, like American Pickers and stuff like that, and the shows are fake. More to the point, they are fake. And I've brought up especially Pawn Stars in particular because I spoke at length with somebody who is an actor, a background actor in Nevada, and they, the guy that walks back in the background on a TV show, or maybe he's in a commercial, sitting in an audience or something like that kind of actor. And he said that the store is the store that you're in. It's not the store. It's not the actual Pawn Stars store. It's a studio set.
Oh,
that's a copy of his store. And that every single person that you see in the background in that store, he knows who they are because they're in his guild. So, I mean, they're all phony, but it gives people a false sense of how all that works. The storage wars.
Yeah, storage war killed it for a lot
American
of people.
Pickers. It's made very unrealistic expectations.
House Hunters.
And ruined it for a lot of industries.
I still like House Hunter stuff.
You just like looking at the houses.
I do. David, there's a lot of Marvel Legends, Star Wars, Black Series, G.I. Joe.
All the new stuff. NECA this and Super 7 that and McFarlane this. Yeah, like Walmart. Only instead of being in Walmart, it's in there.
Yeah, it's in a comic shop.
Oh, Robert wants to know what happened with Tom Baker. Okay, basically what happened was that who is that? Big Chief Studios has had so many delays that it triggered a law that's associated with the Federal Trade Commission. So they've taken so long. The Federal Trade Commission has ordered them to do a recall on all of their pre-orders. So everybody has to reorder their pre-order, or they're not going to get it. And Big Chief and whoever's affiliated with them, whoever you ordered it through, whether it was Big Bad Toy Store or Sideshow or whoever, has to refund you your down payment, and you have to start from scratch if you still want it. So they took so long, they actually broke the law, is what happened. It's almost 3 years waiting for that figure, and So when they contacted me, when Sideshow contacted me and said, "Yeah, we're being forced to give you a refund. You can come and reorder it," I was just like, you know what? Do I really want it at this point? Because I'm so sick of waiting. And then what? Another 2 or 3 years? It's not worth it anymore, you know. And I'm a big fan of Tom Baker. I like Tom Baker better than Pertwee, but and the Pertwee figure was pretty decent.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a really well done figure. So I was looking forward to it, but they've kind of killed it for me now.
Yeah, I do have a wall where I put up posters. I have movie posters and stuff like that. I have more to put up, but it's in the hallway, and we got to have that special ladder.
Which
to-
we showed in coming
Yeah.
down the hall in the tour video.
In the tour video, we showed the ones that's up. But I do have more to put up. But like I said, we got to get that special ladder that goes on the stairs.
Yeah.
You know, because some
It's
people
pretty
don't
steep.
want to use the bucket, which works fine.
Yeah, I want to stand on a stack of buckets that's like 12 feet tall to get to
I
the top
did
of
it
that.
before.
You
All you
did
got
not.
to do is have
She
somebody
didn't do it.
hold you,
She didn't
and
do it.
it'll be all right.
She did not do
But
that.
no, we got to get the ladder to put the rest of them up because David has more to put up, and I have more to put up. And there's a few more that I want to get. It's 3 more movie posters that I want to get, and then I have some to put up. So.
Last time you held anything, I was hanging from a rain gutter by my knuckles. Kim Union says they'd if anyone tried to steal their collection, they'd get hunted. Shh.
You're the
Careful.
predator.
You know you're on a social network. And that's what Marvel fans tapping in there. They said my dad had a woman move in back around 1990. She took my 2 long boxes of Amazing Spider-Man to a pawn shop and then bought a bus ticket. I got them back though, but I bet you were upset.
He was crying.
I totally empathize.
I got a fan.
I totally empathize because, you know, as a lot of you who've been watching for a long time, you know I had a massive collection stolen from me by my ex, and I actually did a whole video on that. When your collection is stolen is the title of the video. Comics and toys and stuff I'll probably never get again, because when I bought it was in the early 90s when nobody cared. It was cheap, you know, when I paid like $120 for Daredevil #1, and that's what it was going rate for it. You know what I mean?
Oh, Kentucky Mud has to leave.
Go. Oh, too bad. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah. I would be afraid, honestly, to even get in a relationship if I had like the collection I have now, because what if that person isn't feeling that? You know what I mean? What if they don't like it? I mean, yeah, they don't like it, and they like, you ain't using up a whole room in my house to put this stuff up, or we can have so much money if you just get rid of this stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's when you know that it's time to consider a deal breaker. A deal breaker.
Yeah.
But Robert wants to know if we sell. I sell on eBay occasionally, but I haven't sold on Mercari. Amazon, you want to talk about getting robbed as far as fees? I have sold on Amazon before. I'll never do it again.
I don't sell anywhere on no platform. I have eBay account, Amazon account, Mercari account, but I don't sell on any of them. I just buy. But Mercari is similar, I guess, to eBay. You can find basically anything there, but I don't know anything about fees and taxes or anything because I don't sell. So,
yeah.
But you can get sometimes better deals on Mercari because they allow you to make offers on everything.
Yeah.
So, and you offer a lot of time to people.
The Wheels is expounding on some of the stuff that they have. So they do get some vintage stuff.
Okay.
That's good, though.
Okay, that's good.
That's good.
I got Scareglow off of eBay for $80.
Which Scareglow, the modern one or the vintage one? You know, she needs the like 85 Scareglow.
Yeah, I ain't getting that for that price.
Absolutely. Yeah, that would be great. Henry Hackbush is here. Thanks for joining us. We're glad you could make it this evening. And Robert is sick of pre-orders. A lot of people are getting sick of pre-orders. I think it's part of what's killing it for me with the new stuff. You know, and what's that, Venus? Venus is saying, I hate thieves. Sorry that happened. Well, I mean, it is what it is. It put me off collecting for a long time, though, because I just didn't want to bother because I knew it would be so hard to replace so much of it. And and you'd have to go and look at the video, and I touch on what I lost as far as toys and comics. I mean, I had Batman all the way back to issue like 30, I think. It's ridiculous. But he- but again, back then, when I talk about losing Star Wars figures, I had the whole Kenner carded series minted on unpunched cards. But back then, I was still getting them at KB. Power of the Force figures and Return of the Jedi figures was still sitting on the pegs for like $3 for $1. So, but now try getting them for that.
Okay, Gilgamesh is going to post some pictures up. We got Melody that joined us.
Thanks for
and
joining
we got
us
Retro
this evening.
that's
Retro
joined us.
Philosopher's here. You missed it last time, didn't you?
Yeah.
Which Blade? First, second, or third?
I saw the Blade cartoon.
I didn't care for it.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah,
well, we only because it's episodes. We only saw episode 1, and I couldn't find the other episodes because it had 1 and like 5. So they had a big gap. So I didn't watch the rest because it looks like it's going to be in order. But it to me it was good. I liked it.
Yeah. Dave Cornmelon says he has to be careful. I have Rosetta originals.
Ooh, okay. That's nice. My son Frank
really
taught me to paint.
To make the Mezco figures.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wow. That's nice.
That is nice. And he's a great artist. You can still get the previous Tom Baker. It's a good figure, even though this looks. No, his sculpt is terrible. And I warned people because people were going to cancel, and they were like, "Oh, I'll just get because they want the old costume." But we know the guy who was at David in Canada got his already, and he says that the quality of the costume is terrible. The quality of the costume is like a Ken doll, and that the sculpt is awful.
Oh wow!
And so because the costume when we got the John Pertwee Third Doctor, the costume's fantastic. It's so well done, but they chinced people on that reissue of the Tom Baker, of the old Tom Baker.
Your Scream Zone's gonna sell some stuff. Melanie is saying Happy New Year. Okay.
Yeah. What are you getting rid of?
The original first one. Okay.
The best. Is the best.
I never saw any of the Blade movies. The thing with collecting, regardless of what it is, eventually you will run out of space. That is true.
And that's why you have totes. So you have totes and closet space, unless your collection happens to be in a closet. We've seen a couple where people they have no room and they turn their walk-in closet into like a little me space, which is fine if you do it good. Hey, if that's all you have, you do the best you can.
My thing, as long as you have it, even if it's boxed up, you own it. And that's something that somebody else can't say, you own it. But I don't want to get rid of anything, because as soon as you get rid of it, you might feel fine for a year or two. Then you can be like, oh man, I had that. I wish I had it again. And it's always that. And you hear people say that. And I understand about space, because we're running out of space, but I make space.
We just rotate.
Make space someplace else, in the garage or somewhere, in the laundry room. Something.
Laundry room, huh?
Somewhere.
You want to end up like pop collectors and have them stacked up in the kitchen in the bathroom, which we have heard.
Yeah,
we've seen it
videos.
Too.
Yeah,
on shelves in the bathroom, where they get that that really awful toilet rack that you buy at Family Dollar. That's supposed to be a shelf to put over the toilet bowl, but it's full of pops. Marvel fans is saying that they got some Scream-used props,
Blade props. Costumes. He said he put it on the Facebook. Okay, I'll look. That
was a really well done Marvel film. The series.
All
3 of the movies are actually pretty good.
But they got the TV show, but they changed the guy. It's I
never saw the live action show.
Yeah, but the cartoon I thought was fun. So word around the Funko Campfire of collectors are getting out. They realize they don't hold up value, and Funko is turning towards more a toy company.
Well, they've known that for a long time. That's why it was so popular to get Funko Pops autographed. Every person I ever spoke to that did it, they said, "Oh, it's so in case." At the on the one hand, I've made this argument before. They're like, "Oh, Funko will never die because they have all these franchises." But then, why are you getting the autograph? Oh, well, because when the value drops, the autograph will help to keep the value up. Well, you
Yeah.
just said it'll never die. So which is it? Which is it, huh? And that autograph's not going to make as much of a difference as people think.
Extreme Zone got
Mostly
mostly
modern
modern
stuff.
stuff. Still, you
If
bought
it's
it.
yours and you
Yeah, it's something made you buy it. Don't be quick. That's all I
Yeah.
say. Don't be quick
our
to get rid of stuff.
our what we said, and I've taught, we both said this before.
Mhm.
Box it up,
Yeah.
put it away, and then go and look at it a year from now.
Yeah.
Right? Unless you just really need the money. But you go look at it a year from now, when you open that box up, you're either going to say, "Hey, wow, I forgot about this," or you're going to say, "What did I buy this for?" And then you will know for sure if
Yeah.
you really want it or not.
That's true, because we got a lot of stuff boxed up. And I remember when we moved from Illinois,
Mhm.
and our stuff was packed up for what, about 2 years. And then we moved here and we brought it all in and we opened up and it was like, oh man, yeah,
I forgot about this. Yeah.
And then some of it was like, oh God, why did I buy this? I spent money on this, but don't be fast. Don't rush to get rid of stuff.
Because you put all that effort into it. Because people
Yeah.
get impulsive like that, and I've heard that before. It's like, especially like pop collectors, NECA. I've heard this with NECA. I got so sick and tired of trying to keep up with the predators, I sold all my NECAs. Well, I hope in a year or two you don't regret that, because you
Yeah.
could have just stopped buying them.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
what I did with the Ninja
Mhm.
Turtles, the NECA Ninja Turtles. I got so fed up because I couldn't find it. I just quit buying it. I didn't get rid of the ones that I have. I just quit buying any new ones. So
Uh-huh.
just don't be fast. Slow down, pump the brakes, go to Goodwill, buy yourself some totes, pack everything up, or get yourself some boxes, pack it up, push it over there in the corner, let it sit for about a year and a half, pull it back out, and see what you feel like. See, what kind of feelings come across you.
Yeah. That's what Robert's asking. What figure, toy, or item you actually bought that made you completely satisfied and brought you back? And I've got a lot like that. There's certain things, the Peanuts related,
Yeah.
Snoopy, or like I showed that one Snoopy pull toy that's like still factory sealed from Hasbro, and I'll never open it, but I'm like, wow, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
My Remco McDonald's figures brings back a lot of memories. There's a lot of great memories of McDonald's from childhood. Just the nostalgia of the concept of McDonald's, even though I didn't go there very often. Shogun Warriors, certain things like that, where I'm like, oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
You get that feeling sometimes. That Space 1999 Eagle One playset did it for me too. That person said to me.
Yeah.
Lee from Canada.
Me, getting the Raggedy Ann and Andy, even the toy box, because I found that toy box online, and man, I was just so happy to have that toy box. All of the action figures I had for it, and the Care Bears ones, because I loved Care Bears as a kid.
Yeah.
I love that. The Sesame Street ones that I had. Love those figures. Love Sesame Street when I was a kid growing up. Watched it every single day. But it's just some figures, you like, man, I don't think I can part with this. Others, I can put it away. I can pack it up and let it sit for a while.
Yeah.
But others,
and some of it, there's so much effort that's
Yeah.
gone into it. You're working on it forever trying to complete the set, like the Inhumanoids. I still need two. I still need two to finish my Inhumanoid set. I've been working on those forever. How could I turn around and get rid of them after that?
Yeah.
Robert's looking for Mash and
Love Boat figures.
They're hard to find on decent cards. If you're looking for card examples, they're hard to find on decent cards.
Okay, he has a Mezco blade with a custom Wesley Snipes head from China, shrunk from the Hot Toys. Okay, It's not bad. Mezco make the facial features.
Well, I've talked about
So,
Mezco before. Mezco's hit or miss. Sometimes they really knock it out, and sometimes you're really disappointed. Like the Ghostbusters set was a disappointment. They did a terrible job on the Ghostbusters. The costumes don't fit. The backpacks don't fit. The light up features don't work well. The elbow joints are single jointed elbows. On and on. There's a lot of problems with it. But then Popeye Stormy Seas, even though the Bluto is kind of bulky, he doesn't work very well. It looks fantastic, and it's a high quality set, and it's well done, right down to the dirt under Popeye's fingernails, and the real metal accessories and things like that. Or their Nosferatu is a very fragile figure, but it looks fantastic. And plus, he was a fragile looking character in the film, so it works.
Jeff.
Oh, Jeff has joined us. Thank you. So Mezco can be really hit or miss, and sometimes I know people want to get ahead of the curve, but you're almost better off waiting until you can see an honest review of it before you buy one.
Yeah, like the NECA, I don't understand, because they got back before 2020, they were already at 200 Predator
something
figures.
Like that. There's a ton of them.
Yeah, and they still making them, and I like the Predator. I think a lot, a lot of the sculpts look good, but it's like what you say, you can only do so much.
And here's a little advanced tip on the 90s action figures video that's going up next week. Predator is on that list because guess what? The original Kenner Aliens Predator figures are still cheaper than the NECA ones that are being released now. And which would you rather have, a true vintage one with that fantastic Kenner card art? The card art is amazing on those.
Yeah.
Or a modern NECA figure that's going to fall apart when you touch it. I would rather buy the vintage ones. I used to have an entire set. It's part of the collection that I lost.
There were only 13 pops this year that held value. Half were nuts. And a lot of Funko collectors don't like NTFs. Yeah. I don't understand that NTF and all of that. Castle Grayskull brought Day back in to the hobby.
Oh.
Yeah, but the NTFs, I don't know what.
No. I think you already clicked that one, didn't you?
Yeah. Speaking of McDonald's, we watched the supersized. Oh,
I saw that.
You saw that, didn't you? You told me about
sick.
that. Yeah.
He gained 30 pounds.
Didn't he develop like diabetes or some type of health issue?
A risk for diabetes.
Oh, okay.
Afterwards, because he was a vegetarian. That's why he kept getting sick. Bozo stuff being old school from Chicago. I've got it on DVD. I've got the original. I'm not from Chicago.
We just lived there for 4 years.
I'm from Massachusetts.
And I'm from South Carolina.
So we had the original Harmon, because there were 3, and it was regional. And the main Bozo, the first one, was on the East Coast and filmed in Boston, Brighton, I think more specifically. And if you watch that show and you see the trains, they're actually Brighton C trains that are running in the background. And then there was the middle nation one that was filmed in Chicago, and then there was a West Coast version, I think.
Okay.
So that's the one I grew up with. But they didn't merchandise very much, and the only action figures they ever had were Bendy. And I have a DVD with a little doll that someone sent me. I think Edwin sent that. Edwin, did you send that if you're still here?
I never saw Bozo.
Mixed up. And Bozo's funny.
Oh, is it?
Because it was live. And if they made a mistake, they just kept going. And it was hilarious. Especially he did this bit once where he's spinning plates and they're breaking them all over the place. Oh, come on, bring some more plates. Let's keep this going. And it's funny. Or they're doing the thing with the kids where they're going to pick the numbers for doing the challenge of the day thing to win a prize. And these kids come running down, and and this kid goes to run by and he grabs him by his suspenders and picks him up and says, No, yours says 9. You're not supposed to be up here. Go back up in the stand. Sit down. Thank you. It was hilarious. But there wasn't too much merchandise. One thing I would like to get Bozo that I've seen is a Bozo figural record player. and it's like a statue, a plastic statue
Oh.
of Bozo with a slot in his back. You insert the record into, and it goes in about halfway, and it spins inside with the record showing on the outside of the back. It's
That
weird.
sounds weird.
It's really weird, yeah. But I've got the original East Coast versions on DVD. I used to let my kids watch it, and it's hilarious, actually. Even as an adult, it's funny watching it.
Toy Chic finally finished sorting out all those G.I. Joe vehicles and accessories from a few months back. Took him a lot of hours and a lot of research.
Yeah.
I bet. One of my favorite figures that came out this year was the NECA Battle Damage Predator from Predator 2. It's great for photography.
Oh, okay.
I got, I think, one NECA Predator figure because it had so many. And it's like, man, how do you choose? Because I didn't want a lot. I just wanted one to represent.
And she has the original Hot Toys Predator, the first one they released.
Oh, found at a thrift store. Remember the Time Life animal books. Had them when I was a kid in the late 70s. So I
that
bought
sounds
some.
familiar. And
Time Life animal books. I remember
National
Time Life.
Geographic used to do a lot of children's young reader animal books and stuff too.
Yeah, I used to like watching National Geographic on TV when they had Wild Kingdom.
I got the magazine when I was a kid, National Geographic World, and it was a magazine that was targeted at like adolescents.
Okay.
It came with a poster.
I have NECA Predator stuff, but I was more after Arnold. Love the Muddy Arnold. Get to that chopper. My biggest problem with the NECA Predator line is that they began remaking. Yeah, too many. It's like I said, how
as
many
long as
times
people are going to buy them?
Yeah, you got only so many faces. It wasn't 200 Predators. I mean, they didn't show them all on the TV to be making all of that.
Oh, he wants to know if I'm, Mezco makes cartoons and creatures better. Yeah, they do, actually. And that Dick Tracy's probably going to come out really good. It looks a lot like the classic newspaper strip Dick Tracy.
They're making a Ninja Turtle?
They had a 4-pack that was announced.
Oh, really?
I haven't ordered it. I stopped pre-ordering from Mezco when I butted heads with them over my lost order. I did a video, Mezco shipping nightmare some time ago because they shipped it to the wrong address in the wrong state. And every time I tried to communicate with them several times to get them to find out what the hell happened. You know, what is this address? Why is this going to another state even? Who is this person? It had my name on it, but it was going to another state. And they kept blowing me off. They weren't even answering my question. Like they were answering a different question from somebody else or something. And actually, the Topeka Police Department recovered the package for me from the person it was delivered to.
Yeah, they had nothing to do.
Yeah, apparently, but I appreciate it. But after that fiasco and how their customer service gave me the runaround, which they did again just recently with the death dealer.
Yeah, you didn't get your poster.
I didn't get the poster, and they gave me a really hard time. Kept telling me to go back and check the box again, and it's like, seriously. And then I brought their attention to the fact that I had actually done an unboxing on the channel with it, and then the very next response was, "We'll get that right out to you."
Yeah, I told him that's where he should have started, because I've had stuff get missing and broken, and it came that way. And I always tell them in the email, I have video footage because I videotape everything for my YouTube channel. And when I opened up this package, this was broken, that wasn't in there, this and that. You don't
give
get
them a chance.
No, to see, you went around in circles for hours.
But anyway, well, I went around in circles for hours when they shipped it to the wrong address too, and I challenged them to say, "Look at your records and see where my address is, and look where that was shipped to." And I can't even remember what they said. It was something ridiculous.
Hey, who's this? Link?
Lynx is here. Thanks for joining us this evening, Links. But yeah, I've got so frustrated just with their poor customer service, I've stopped pre-ordering from them.
No, I don't collect
Yeah.
Resident Evil. I saw the
Mhm.
movie back in the 90s. The only one I still want is the original Albert Wesker figure, and that thing is pricey.
Yeah, I've heard that terminology.
Kidults.
Yeah, that's been
Yeah.
kicking around for a while, but
Yeah,
it's becoming
It's
official.
starting to pick up
Yeah, it's
more
starting to
speed.
pick up because it was in like a documentary or something like that. I don't care for it because it's the term is kind of demoralizing.
It sounds irresponsible.
Yeah, it's making it sound like we're childish
Yeah.
for having we're not childish for having a desire for nostalgia or for the aesthetics, for the art of the figure or the history of the toys or the comics or whatever. This has always been a thing. You know, when we were kids, there were adults who collected model trains,
Mhm.
cap guns, marbles, you know, stuff like that, comics. And I brought this up before also. Back in the day, back in the platinum and golden age of comic books, it wasn't kids reading them. It was mostly adults. When you see a lot of times in old movies and old TV shows, and you see a grown man or a grown woman flipping through a comic book, they're not doing it as a joke. They're doing it because it was so culturally significant at the time that everybody read comics. I mean, what I think Action Comics #1, even though there's hardly any left, they pressed almost 2 million copies. That wasn't for kids. And if you read the dialogue in some of those older books,
Yeah,
you can see how sophisticated it is.
compared to that garbage they got now. We were watching somebody video and they were showing some pages out of the new X-Men book. And oh my God, it was just disgusting. But I mean, people act like there are no other collector or hobbyist. You got all kinds of various hobbies and people that are into different things. You got people that are super into sports. You got people that collect cars. You got people that collect bottle caps. I mean, you got all kinds of stuff. But you know, for some reason, if you collect toys, it's like different.
Yeah, they're getting back to picking on us, if you will.
Yeah, but I mean, you know who you are.
Excuse me.
You know, people gonna talk.
Yeah, just because you want to collect action figures doesn't mean you wear a diaper and suck your thumb.
Yeah, doesn't mean you're like a pedophile or nothing.
Yeah, Jeff just said, yeah, it would have been nice if they made the hero from Predator 2. Yep, they've got to get permission from Danny Glover first. Yeah. He's got to cooperate for that to work out, and from my understanding, he's not very cooperative with his likeness.
They got McFarlane Ninja Turtle figures coming soon. I don't think I've seen that.
I don't know if I've heard that, Toy Chic. Oh, thanks for joining us. I didn't notice you were there.
We read a couple of his comments.
Did we read Toy Chic's comments?
Yeah, because he was telling us about how he had the G.I. Joe he'd been going through for the last few months. And he was putting the clothes together, and it's been taking him.
Oh, yeah, he did say that. You know what? Yeah, you're right. See, I remember now.
I told y'all at the beginning, just don't mind him. Something wrong with him.
Yeah, something is wrong with me. No, I didn't know he was going to do Ninja Turtles too, but why not? Everybody else does.
And that's back to, I know it's beating that dead horse, but how many companies need to make the same thing? You got the Ninja Turtles, you got Masters of the Universe. It seemed like those two toy lines just get raked through the coals. Predator also, because a lot of people do Predator.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Ninja Turtles and Masters of the Universe get hit the hardest. Everybody wants to make them.
Yeah.
Every toy company out there, and it's like, look, it's other stuff out there that y'all can make that people will just be happy for, to get a fresh new look or to just be able to get again. But nope, let's just keep beating the same ones up. I hate the term kiddo. It's just a way to insult someone you don't agree with.
It seems that way, sure, because you can pick on them. And Extreme Zone, don't you know adults aren't supposed to have fun, just work, eat, sleep. Yeah, I know you all thought you were going to get away when you got older. So I'm going to grow up and things will be different. Yeah, it'll be different, all right, just not the way you expected. Yeah, it shows what kids are playing with the figures we collect. kids I see today are all about video games and playing on their phones.
Yeah.
Obsessed with staring at their phones, watching TikTok, looking at people going like this.
Yeah, now they got eye diseases that they didn't have before, and people are getting these little humps and cricks in their neck that people didn't have before, because all they want to do is keep their head down in the stupid phone.
Kid K Munin says thinks it'll go away. Not as long as anyone's insulted by it, it won't.
Yeah. I don't like the term. I prefer to be called a historian or a nostalgic collector.
Yeah, there you go. Nostalgia buff.
Hobbyists, or just don't say nothing.
That's true too, Melanie. Everything's gonna have a damn label.
Yeah, you just can't just be people that collect toys or comics or anything. And like I said, you have in every area, because I mean, you got people like I told y'all before. I do quilting. It's a lot of people in there. You have others that all they do is play golf. All you do is watch sports. My brother collects cars and he collects old vintage cameras. I mean, you got people that collect all kinds of stuff, but they don't seem to get labeled as much as people that collect toys and comics.
Yeah. Retro says, look at Disney parks. Adults still go there. Yeah, look how popular that Star Wars adventure thing they have going is. You think there's any like 4-year-olds want to hang out there? Not too many.
When we were at the last toy show, I heard this little boy tell his dad, he was a little kid too, maybe about 5 or 6. Dad, can we leave the toy store now and go back and do something else? Because he saw the show as like this one big toy store. He was tired of it. He was ready to go. He told his dad so. Like, wow.
And Gilgamesh and Toy Chic speculating. They said that it's just a rumor because there's supposed to be another turtle film. Are they going to start from scratch again?
It's for the new Seth Rogen movie coming out, as well as I think a classic style line. So 2 different styles he's doing. Seth Rogen, he did that Christmas show last year, didn't he? That Christmas cartoon. Wasn't that him and that Silverman, the lady? Like
that awful Christmas
parody, like
that was terrible.
Like to see the Police Academy see it's stuff like that. They could do the police, the emergency.
It'd probably cost more than the original ones.
But it's still they can revisit those things that $6 million man back there. I guess Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci were kidults with the statues and the illustrations they did. Sorry. Okay. Most people don't even know about the Hot Toys quality.
Well, I question that because it depends. Because it depends on what you consider to be quality. If you're only concerned with the sculpt, because I've had trouble with unboxings on Hot Toys, and I've been disappointed in some of them. For me, they're kind of hit or miss too. But most people are like obsessed with the sculpt or detail.
Yeah.
But for me, there's more to it than that.
But then you also have that group of Hot Toy collectors, because Hot Toys is like a little cult, got a little cult following.
Yeah, they do. There's a handful of people that the company can do no wrong.
Yeah.
Like, and you see it in Mezco, you see it in Funko, you see it with all these toy companies. Really, they can do no wrong, no matter what the problem is. They'll find a way to talk around it. Like, that's because you need to blow dry their elbows or something like that. They have some excuse for it, or no, don't bend them that way because that way the paint won't chip off. Why is the paint chipping off?
Hey, Brian Sanchez, how are you?
Brian is here.
Yeah, Brian Sanchez is graced with his presence.
Yay, Brian.
Hot Toys cult. Yeah, we watch some Hot Toys channels. The people, that's all they
and they sit there and talk about how bad something is, and that they still bought it and still want it. And it's like, well, it's no good, but you're still like beaming over the product. Something's wrong there.
I got rid of all my stuff once I entered the military, but I fell in love with that Hot Toy Christopher Reeve Superman, and got me back into it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Just ignore the term. Yeah, Andrew Tate went after anime fans recently, calling them all losers. You know what's really funny too is how I don't know why this is a thing now, where all these celebrities
Mhm.
want to attack their fan bases and insult them.
Yeah,
And
and they want you to watch their stuff.
and somehow think that they're going to last too much longer under those kind of circumstances. You know what I mean? That's something that in the past would be almost unheard of. What's that?
I saw the Disney special for the Star Wars World grand opening, and they showed a grown man crying real tears looking at a life-size Millennium Falcon. People who make fun don't have that passion.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder how much it costs to sit in that cockpit and have your picture taken, though.
Where is
bet you.
that? Is that in California or in
I think it's
Florida?
Florida. Isn't it in Florida? I could be wrong. I've heard it's like stupid
A
expensive.
life-size, how big is that? I mean,
you could fit it in a football field.
I mean, I know what it looked like. I didn't see the movie, but I know what a Millennium Falcon looked like. But God, I mean,
and it's probably wall to wall people. You know, it's probably wall to wall, and you could hardly enjoy the experience.
You probably got to make an appointment to go in there, and then you just fly down there a month later when your turn comes up. That's probably how they should do it. Make it by appointment, and then you set up a date and time, and then they have like so many people come, like 100 people come today to walk through, just so you can enjoy it. Because I've been to Disney World, and it's just so much people. You can't get on the rides and all of that. But I don't know. People who call adult collectors kiddos are just jealous. So it's their money on other things.
No, what it is they're unhappy, and unhappy people are like a sinking ship.
Yeah.
And when the ship goes down, if it goes down too fast, it'll pull those lifeboats in with it. That's why.
The Science Museum is putting up a 20-foot statue of Vulcan salute honoring Leonard Nimoy.
I heard that.
Where's the Science Museum at?
Which
in
Science
New
Museum?
York?
I don't know which one.
Oh,
a
okay.
Science Museum.
A Science
But
Museum.
basically, it's a hand.
Okay.
And who is this? This is Wasted Years is here. Thanks for joining us, Wasted Years. Says you have Rock Lords. I had a few as a child. I'm curious about the prices on those. Happy New Year's. Surprisingly, depending upon what you're dealing with and the condition wise, mint on card, you'd probably for the majority of them pay somewhere between 40 to 100 a piece for the standard figures and the gnarlies. So it's not that bad. It's not that bad by comparison.
I won't do anything above Mezco or Mayfax. Tate got arrested for trafficking. That guy can get hit by a bus.
And what he wants to know if I have trading cards. Hardly. I used to have a lot.
You got Star Wars cards, don't you?
The only Star Wars cards that I have are the Burger King ones.
Oh.
I got the original Burger King cards, but they're unpunched.
But what about those cards of the characters you had? I thought there was Star Wars, and you said those were the people, and they made their own outfits and stuff like that.
Star Trek, no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but that was like a promotion that was given to people who participated in the making of the Star Trek the motion picture film.
Oh,
that's a very very rare set. But yeah, aside from that, I really don't have much left as far as trading cards. I used to have complete sealed wax boxes from all sorts of properties. I had a collection of them.
I always thought Hot Toys were overrated and overpriced for what they are.
They're getting more expensive.
Yeah, they are.
California and Florida.
Oh.
And Jeff says it's worth. Oh, you went there?
So they got a life-size one in each place? Wow. But where's Star Wars World? I know they got a Star Wars something another, I think in Florida, right? Where you can go and get the whole Star Wars
experience. There's like a hotel and you stay there for 3 days or something. It costs like $1 million.
Oh, Brian says it's in California.
Okay.
And it depends on the time you go, really. Sometimes it's an hour wait. Sometimes it's a lot less. Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Because I know at one of the churches I was going to, they were going to the Jerusalem Experience in Florida.
Mhm.
and they were going to do that. And I wanted to do that one, but I don't know. I didn't go.
And then Disney, you spend most of your time in the line.
Yeah.
It's like on South Park when they had the carnival, and they were in line for like 2 hours, and then when
And
they got to
Cartman-
the end, there was nothing there, and it was like, "No, this was the simulated line experience. Would you like your picture?" Oh, sure. Who remembers that back when South Park was still funny?
Yeah. Lots of YouTube videos showing the Galaxy's Edge and the
Mhm.
Falcon. I feel like I've seen it for real without having to go out and take a small loan. Yeah, you got to go out and almost get a second mortgage on your
Yeah.
house just to go to Disney World. I mean, the price. I went to Star Wars years ago. Thought that was cool, but no Falcon. Also rode Honey Shrunk the Kids ride. I really wish I got to see Jaws.
Or Terminator 2.
Mm-hmm.
You missed out.
Oh, yeah, that would have been cool. I haven't been there since I was a teenager. Hey, Punisher X.
Hey, Punisher's here.
Yay. Yes, I did. Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland and Disney World. The hotel is super fun, but I wouldn't recommend it.
What's it?
King Kong Disney. Robert saying something.
Oh, okay.
This is Thomas Derek. Always fun to hang out. Needs more blade props though.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Maserati is here.
Is here. Thanks for joining us.
True
It says
Collectors.
True Collectors. Is that us?
I guess so.
Well,
we collect a lot of stuff.
We enjoy it though.
How much does the simulated line at Disney? It costs the amount to get into that place.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna stand in line for a while,
Mhm.
for a long time. Because me and my dad stood in line to get on Space Mountain. I think it was 2 hours, and that was back in the 90s.
Yeah.
We went, and that was just a mess.
Retro wants to know if it'd be cheaper buying vintage Star Wars figures or buy the retro line. The retro line's probably cheaper than the original, unless you're getting them loose. And some of those are crazy expensive too. But if you were, I would recommend actually looking at some of those like 90s properties when they brought it back in like in the mid 90s. Star Wars around the time of the trilogy when Hasbro took over Kenner. Those still don't sell. They are still dirt cheap. They're on my list that I'm going to be doing about the 90s properties toys and how some of them are cheaper.
Wow.
But yeah, if you know the ones, Power of the Force ones, the one that you see in the dollar bins.
On the green card?
Yeah,
on the
green
and
like
black card?
94, 95, 96.
We went to a show one time and they were like, if you bring in a toy, you'll get in free. Everybody bought in that Star Wars stuff. They had like a bin
the
full
bins
of
were full of them.
Because that's what you brought.
Because you got like a discount if you brought a toy for them to donate.
Yeah.
And everybody brought those, and a few of the Playmate Star Trek figures.
My partner and I went to the hotel. I had $20,000. When we left, I had $3,000. I like going. I can go to Disney World and not ride the rides because just walking around and seeing the fireworks, because they used to do the fireworks every night at like 11 because they were closed. And I think it was 11 o'clock. They would do this huge fireworks show. And the thing that was nice about that, it didn't matter where you were in the park, you could see the fireworks. Because they didn't have tall buildings, so you could see the fireworks really clear. So I liked it. I like that. And you can go and not ride rides and still have a nice time because you get on that one that carry you around the park, that little monorail thing. That's cool, I guess.
You ain't sneaking into Disney.
No.
Their security detail is like the CIA. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to sneak nowhere in there.
No, they know everything that's going on. They know when you're sleeping and they know when you're awake. Toy Sheet talking about the '89 Batman cereal with the bank. they have something awesome planned when they get 100 subscribers.
Oh, I need to be a subscriber to your channel.
Are you? I think I'm subscribed to your channel.
You are.
Yeah.
I'm
you're
not.
Maybe we'll
And
push
how
you
can
up
I get
100.
the 100 if I'm not? You got to be a subscriber. You got to like and you got to share.
Yeah.
So let's. I ain't finished reading it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. There you go.
See how he do me?
That's right.
Let's just say I'm saving something for you. Oh.
Yay. I got to do a giveaway because I thinking about doing a 10,000 subscriber giveaway. 10,000 subscriber
10,000
giveaway.
I'm gonna start collecting cereal boxes.
And yeah, some of the older ones are expensive. They're crazy expensive.
I ain't getting that one. I'm gonna get that one that's $10.
Because who?
Because I was looking at it the other day.
Yeah.
Because I said, "Oh, I want two cereal boxes: the '89 Batman and the Ghostbusters."
Oh, they have a couple of hologram.
Yeah, but then I looked and I'm like, "Oh my God, they had all of these." I didn't remember all of those cereal boxes. They got one with Barnabas Collins. So of course, I gotta get that. And then they just got like the G.I. Joe. It's like almost like collecting lunch boxes. Almost.
Yeah.
Because everything had
super nostalgic too.
Mm-hmm.
No, I have not seen
Beast
the trailer.
Wars
I have not
Is it
seen
a
the trailer for Beast Wars. Beast Wars was a Transformers cartoon series, and it was done in like what is now regarded as pretty campy CGI. Or not CGI, but computer generated animation, anyways. But
because you remember in the trilogy, in the third trilogy, they did have those. The third part of the trilogy, they did have those beasts. Is that the same thing?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
We also
Lego
nerds. Oh, we spent some money on the Lego store. Whoa. I know Legos bring a toy to 20,000 Funko Pops.
Now it probably would be.
Yeah. I know Legos can be really expensive, and we've seen some channels where they show their Lego stuff, and man, that can get really. Who's that? Michael Sorrells?
Michael Sorrells. Happy New Year,
Michael.
everyone,
how are
he
you?
says. Thanks for joining us this evening. But yeah, I've got to. I'm gonna do a 10,000 subscriber giveaway.
It's on my bucket list.
Yeah, that's on my bucket list.
But going to Disney World?
No.
Oh,
having a 10,000 subscriber giveaway.
Hey, I hope you hit it in 2023. What you gonna give
at the rate it's going? I'll probably hit it in by the end of January.
Ooh,
that would be something, wouldn't it? But yeah, if that happens, though, I'll do a giveaway. I don't know quite what I'm going to give away yet, though, but it should be interesting.
I'm going to enter, and I'm gonna rig the election.
Shame on you. Gnomesky has the Batman Bank.
Hey!
Yeah, they used to put really cool prizes with that stuff. They used to put really cool prizes. Edwin says he could pre-order the Admiral Kirk from XO6, 100 green and white, not black and white. Oh, okay. Star Trek.
Don't you have some XO6? XO6?
No, I had the QMX.
QMX.
And then QMX, the license went to XO6, and I didn't order anymore. I stopped getting them. If I get you to 10,000 subscribers, can I have your Vader in the background? No, I can't. You know how hard it was to get that?
You want the loose one.
No, that too.
You want the loose one.
That one is like they're the loose figures there are all loose complete, and they're practically unplayed with. Hell, the Stormtrooper there still has the string. Those are hard to find.
I collect cereal boxes, love them. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing the cereal boxes. Not a lot. I don't want like all of the cereal boxes, just a few.
Melody wants Pyrex casserole dishes. Some of that stuff, or the Corningware, those are popular, and they don't go for a lot.
You can find them at Goodwill sometimes.
Yeah, but you order them. The one thing though is that the shipping will get you.
Yeah,
because they are heavy. But
hey, Bill.
Or Tupperware, vintage Tupperware. Some of it sells for quite a bit as well. Where do you see Bill? Oh, there's Bill.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us this evening, Bill. We appreciate it.
Ow. Where
What's
are you?
this?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Same with the Tron bikes, because Tron. Did I miss something?
Yeah. That I like building my
Oh.
own thing from the sets I buy, unless it's a specific set. It used to, when we were kids, it was just a box of Legos. Now every Lego is
Or it was simple.
something.
Like it was they had the town and they had the castle set and stuff, but it
Yeah.
wasn't as detailed.
Yeah.
Now it's like a puzzle.
Yeah, it's like the
Mhm.
Batmobile, the Batwing, and all kinds of stuff. I want the Batwing, but boy, will I put it together. That's the thing. I gotta hire somebody to put it. Cereal boxes are amazing. Seals, 70s and 80s are insane prices. Cereals are all snapshots in time of history since they are limited. You
Yeah.
can get acrylics to store them. I collect them sealed. I don't need the cereal to be in the box. I just want the box.
Yeah, if you can find decent condition boxes.
Yeah.
And Greg says they were mad when QMX canceled the Scotty. Yeah, and I had the Scotty and the Sulu on pre-order, and both of those got canceled.
Hmm.
And so I was frustrated with that. But then, XL6 started coming out with that stuff, and I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to bother now. And then XL6 is cranking them out a lot faster than QMX ever did.
Oh yeah.
And mixing the lines. So they had Next Generation and original Star Trek and Voyager stuff.
Oh wow.
And Deep Space Nine, and they're pulling them from all over the place. All of the original lines.
10,000 subscribers will give you a free kitty. Yeah, you can get one of them kittens we got.
Oh.
You win a free kitty.
I love the baby so.
Buying a pack of Legos today is like buying a model car. You get one thing out of it.
Yeah, because back in the day, you'd break it apart and make something else. Nobody does that now.
No. Who thought to keep cereal thinking it would be worth money back then? I know I didn't. I know. But you find so many things. You just be shocked when you look on eBay. And you're shocked and you're like, who kept this stuff? Who is that person that
Somebody
saw
was
that?
smart.
Yeah, and said, I'm gonna keep this pack of envelopes, a pack of napkins, because we've seen some channels where people got packages of like birthday napkins and balloons and the little party streamer things. And you're like, who keeps that?
Stuff you would never think of. Or like Kentucky Fried Chicken. I saw this guy. He had, back in the old days, the KFC and McDonald's and all those places, they used to give you a little nappy. If you remember that, it was a little folded up, like a little wet nap. Inside of a little paper packet, and they would put it for you for the kids, so you could clean them up after they ate. And they had a collection of those. I'm like, they stopped doing that in the 70s. Who kept those? Sealed. It's crazy.
Yeah. And then like you'll look on there and then somebody got the little the plastic thing from McDonald's where you get your pancakes in. They got that and they selling you that. And I'm like,
those old styrofoam containers from the 80s are a thing now. And a lot of collectors are buying them.
But who bought some a breakfast meal from McDonald's, took it home, rinsed it out, and said, "Okay, I'm gonna just set that over here
for the next 40 years."
I'm like,
or the old coffee stirs. It's like the long plastic, tiny little spoon,
and it had McDonald's written on
the top. And because a lot of places had those. Or I've seen a person who had a collection of them from the airlines.
Yeah.
Back when the airlines used to actually serve a real meal.
Yeah.
And they give you those plastic stirs that says American Airlines or Continental or whatever. And they had a collection of those. It's like, wow, people keep some strange stuff. But sometimes though, it'll crank your memory when you see it.
Yeah, because it makes me think. Because we always joke about it. You go back in time, you pick a year, you can go back in time, You can bring back anything you want. You can't talk to anybody. You can't change nothing. But you can go to the store. You can go anywhere. You can just bring back stuff. You can go and buy all the GI Joes you want, the McDonald's, all of that. And it makes me think when I see that somebody went back in time and said, "Man, from 2022 and said, oh man, you know what? I can sell some cereal. Let me go back in time and buy all of these cereal boxes or these McDonald meals and wash out the styrofoam and then start selling it on eBay. I can make a killing." Because I mean, who does that? I mean, if I could go back in time now, I would do that. But in 1980, I didn't think about that. Once you got finished with that cereal, you threw that mess away. You threw the box away. You ate the cereal your parents
Yeah.
bought. Why don't they make Star Trek?
It's the licensing.
Oh,
It's yeah, that is. It might have something to do with the fact that they already have a Star Wars license, but I mean,
Mhm.
obtaining another license and especially Star Trek's not quite that kind of a property. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's never quite been directed towards. It's rare that it's ever been directed towards children. Look how long it took for them to get around to Mego Star Trek figures
Mhm.
in 1974, after it had been out since like what 66, 67. But those figures were based off of the Saturday morning cartoon show, not the original 60s television program. And then when it came back again, and was it what Galoob that
Mhm.
had the original Star Trek: The Next Generation 3 3/4 inch figures, which were a huge disappointment. Didn't go over well. They were really badly made. Playmates got the license, but Playmates was ahead of the game. They were targeting adults with those action figures. Kids weren't buying those even in the 90s. That's why they get a serial number on their foot. And there was a big market for figures that had a number under a certain amount, because the paint applications could change after a while. And Playmates did that with a lot of their figures. If you turn them over and you can read a number printed on the foot of their figures, they did it with the Skeleton Warriors. They did it with a lot of different figure lines. They did it with Sequest
Mhm.
when they made those. Those were not for kids. And if God forbid you had one numbered under 1,000 or under 100, and you could get a premium for them back in the day. Now nobody cares.
Gilgamesh wish he had bought those glasses from restaurants that we show in the commercials.
Some of those glasses aren't that expensive.
If you bought the Star Wars, Star Trek glasses, would you drink from them?
No.
You wouldn't? You wouldn't drink out of it?
Oh yeah, there you go.
Fantasy 15. I mean, it'll be so much fun because you see movies and you think about it, man. If you could just go back in time, but like I said, you can't talk to anybody. You can't change anything. You can buy stuff or you can bring stuff back. You go to your grandparents' house, your parents' house, and they got something, you just bring it back. But nothing that can change history, like kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Probably someone that owns a franchise found lots of old boxes, in their warehouse and thought of a way to make some money clearing it out. That's true.
Yeah, so back in the day we used that stuff. So it wasted years there. But you got that like this one back.
I got my Care Bear one. Yeah, that's the one from his childhood.
I still have it. Yeah, that's from the cereal promotion. And you had to send away the box top and get this in the mail. And this is mine from childhood, and I still have it. And you can see I used the crap out of it because it's all chipped and worn out. And now it just sits here. But I haven't used it in years. But when I was a kid, this was the glass. Everything went in here, or the cup. It's just plastic.
Yeah. But Wasted Years said they had a ton of those fast food glasses growing up, but they used it all up to the point of no return. We use stuff, and that's why I always get so like amazed when you looking online and people are selling this stuff and it's still in good shape, or it's wrapped up, it's never been used, never opened. And it's like, man, we use everything and we didn't gently open it, you ripped it open.
Yeah. That's why it's so hard to find a lot of these vintage things still sealed or still carded, still boxed, still carded, or something like that. I mean, how many Mascatrons do you think are really out there still sealed in the box? For example, you know, we opened everything, and that's why the modern figures. People ask me sometimes, do I think the modern figures are going to retain much value? I don't think so, because it's a total reversal. We opened everything.
Yeah.
Now everybody preserves it all.
Yeah.
So if you vintage Mego, for example, Star Trek figures, probably 98% of them are loose. And then of the carded examples, half of them are probably rough. Versus the Mego Star Trek figures that Mego are making now, the new Mego, probably 90% of them are never going to be opened, and they're being very carefully preserved. So where's the value going to come from? You know, it's not going to happen.
Toy Chic, I'm not gonna Google no cereal boxes, because the other day when I was on eBay looking at those cereal boxes,
she was getting dizzy.
I had to turn the computer off because I did not realize it was that many cereal boxes and that people still got it. Like I said, I knew of the Batman one and I knew of the Ghostbusters. Those are the only two I remember. And then when I in the Mr. T, because I do remember seeing the Mr. T.
Yeah.
But for some reason, when I went on eBay the other night, all of this stuff popped up, and I'm sitting there like, oh my God. I remember that cereal, but I don't remember that they had a box. I mean, they had so much stuff. So I don't need to Google nothing. I'm gonna be sitting there all night, like looking at it and like, oh, I want to buy that. My mom collected cereal. Wow. She'd buy the name brand. Then when we were done, she'd replace it with generic cereal. We were none the wiser.
Yeah, you got to buy that bag and pour it in there.
I bought a brand new Batman Returns Catwoman McDonald's cup and have a custom leather cup holder. Wow. A custom leather cup holder. I use it every Renaissance festival every year. Okay. I never been to a Renaissance festival. You?
No.
Okay, best movie memory. Mine is The Return of the Jedi. First one first one out. Came out happy. 3-block line across the theater. It was crazy. Good memories. What's yours?
I remember everybody cheering during what was it? What's the name of that movie?
Avengers?
No.
Well, they did in the end game.
They cheered when Captain America picked up that hammer.
Yeah, they did.
And the whole audience groaned when they did the female moment.
They did.
That was hilarious.
But everybody cheered and they stood up when Captain America picked up that hammer.
But when they did the bit where Spider-Man had been running with that gauntlet, and then who was it? Miss Marvel is like, do you have something for me? And they were like, we got this. And they showed all the Marvel women and everybody.
And she hovering in the air and doing all that.
You heard the audience go, oh.
Yeah, because that was like a bunch of garbage.
I'm thinking of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. When he reaches back under and pulls his hat just before the door closes.
Oh.
And is slamming down, and he snatches his hat out, and I heard a huge cheer in the audience. I remember that.
You remember the first movie you saw in the theater?
Yes.
What?
Murdered by Death.
How old were you when that came out? Because that came out in the 70s.
Yeah. It was, I saw that before I even saw Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think that was like, 75, 76, something like that. Murdered by Death. My mother's boyfriend took me to see it. I have no idea why.
Because he wanted you to know.
And then
you was about to bite the bullet.
And I saw Star Wars in the theater, and I was brought there by somebody from the Big Brothers Association,
Okay.
and but barely. It was young though, hard to remember the events that well, but I remember the movies.
I always wanted to go to the movie as a kid, but never went. And then when I did go, it was nothing playing really. But then so I picked the Dirt Bike Kid, and I remember seeing the Dirt Bike Kid in the movie theater, and I saw Masters of the Universe.
Mhm.
But I knew Masters of the Universe because I watched the cartoon. But when I saw the movie, I couldn't figure out what was going on because all I ever saw was the cartoon. So it didn't. And back then, um, I didn't. When I watched movies and even TV shows, I didn't really pay too much attention to what was going on. So I didn't
Yeah.
know half the stuff I was watching.
That's different when you're younger.
Yeah, but I didn't start really paying attention to movies until we met. Yeah, I saw the Smurf cereal.
Smurfs are awesome, by the way.
Man, they had so much stuff. I was so amazed because I don't remember any of those cereals growing up. So I'm gonna get me a couple of boxes.
Yeah, it is a waste of time, Robert. You can't sit there and just and just accumulate stuff and hope it'll go up and die.
Yeah.
If that's why you're doing it, then you'll probably end up pretty.
Terminator 2.
Yeah.
You can't just go around killing everyone in the leg. There, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
He'll live.
He'll live. I remember that.
I remember I used to love the 89 Batman because I don't know where it came from, but we had the VCR tape. And one summer, I literally watched that movie like every day because we didn't have cable or nothing like that, so you didn't have nothing. So I used to just watch it all the time. And I used to like when Joker said, "Where did he get those toys, those beautiful toys, whatever he said." I can't remember the line exactly.
Where does he get those wonderful toys?
Wonderful toys
in the museum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were pretty cool. 200 people must have been.
They merchandised the hell out of that film.
Yeah.
Because there was tons of shirts, and there was a huge problem with counterfeit clothing associated with Batman during that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My earliest movie memory was a class field trip to see
Titanic. So you took a 3.5 hour nap, is what you're telling us. And
I've never seen Titanic.
Retro's got to go.
Okay. Good night, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks for popping in. We appreciate it.
Oh, it's about to be the new year in 9 minutes.
Well, on the East Coast, anyways.
I bet when return. Then the next day, made my brother go back with me to see it again.
It was a Batman Returns. Oh, is that the one with
Val Kilmer?
No, that's Batman and Robin.
Oh.
And then Batman Forever is the one with George Clooney, or Boo-hoo Clooney.
What's the second one?
I think that is Batman Returns. Is the second one with the Penguin.
Mm.
The really Danny DeVito's really grubby, nasty Penguin.
Yeah. Jack is still the best Joker.
They've all been I can't, except for Jared Leto, because we didn't see Jared Leto's performance. We never saw Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But all of them in their own way. Cesar Romero.
Yeah.
Was pretty good, actually, for a show that was supposed to be funny. Jack Nicholson, everybody who's portrayed the Joker has really put a lot into it.
Yeah. I remember waiting in a huge line to see the Ninja Turtles, the 90s movie. Okay.
And what's this? I'm really into X-Rental VHSs. They're big box VHS releases in Europe, UK, just like serials. There's so many classic and horror covers, like classic artwork.
Oh.
That's interesting.
I don't know. I guess I just never thought to look at the VCR covers. Yeah, because it's usually like almost a movie poster is what they put on the cover of the DVD.
Yeah, it's usually
tapes.
a copy of the. It's usually a copy of the movie poster.
Heath
is
Ledger
correct.
was the best Joker in my opinion anyway. Yeah. I thought he was real good. All of them did a great job. Like he said, in their own way. They brought their own thing to it. And they didn't try to be like Jack Nicholson or Cesar Romero or anything like that. Even when Mark Hamill was the Joker on the animated series, he brought his own thing to it.
Yeah, he was warned though.
Yeah, don't
Just
try to be like
don't
Jack Nicholson.
do Nicholson. Just come up with something else, and we'll see how it looks.
I love 89 Batman, but I want Jack Nicholson Joker to be like the shining Jack Nicholson. He played it. Cesar Romero didn't get a serious Joker until Heath Ledger. Yeah, Heath Ledger was good. And I like Joaquin Phoenix. I still think he's my favorite, but I like all of them. All of them in a way is my favorite.
Yeah.
But Joaquin Phoenix, I think he just really nailed it. I think he did a great job on it.
Venus said the first film they saw was Willow.
I never saw Willow.
With Val Kilmer.
Mm-hmm.
And Wicked Warwick. And Gilgamesh says the earliest movie memory was E.T. I never saw E.T. when I was a kid.
I never saw E.T. at all.
It's okay.
It's never seen E.T.
It's one of those okay scale. Like a lot of people go on and on about Goonies. And Goonies is okay, but it's not a great film.
I never
it's
saw
okay.
Goonies.
It's fun. It's fun, but it's not a great film. Or like Caddyshack. Caddyshack's it's fun and it's classic 80s, but it's not a great film. And it's got some of the worst acting you're going to see in the 80s too.
Oh yeah.
With the exception of Ted Knight. Ted Knight as the judge, he acted his part. He acted the hell out of that. Everybody else, I mean, it looked like they didn't even know what their lines were. Like they didn't even give a damn. And then, of course, you have Chevy Chase, who could barely act. Bill Murray, who could barely act. He didn't start getting good until like the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
And then, who else was in it?
John Candy in it.
No, Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh,
who not only could he not act, he openly admitted it. He had said that on the Tonight Show that no, I can't act. I could just.
But he was everywhere in the 90s.
He was real in the 80s.
I mean the 80s.
Yeah, he was real popular everywhere. In the 80s. He was.
Because he was a stand-up comedian, wasn't he?
Yes.
I guess, but a lot of stand-up comedians were actors or became actors.
Yeah, they worked him in one way or another. They found a way to do it.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen a lot of your classic movies that everybody on Earth has seen. I never saw Star Wars, any of it. Never saw Star Trek, any of it. E.T., Jaws, Back to the Future.
Oh.
If you name it, 9 times out of 10, I have not seen it. Gremlins
is fun. Gremlins is better than Goonies.
Yeah, all of those movies, I just never saw it. You know, they weren't available for me to see, so I didn't see it. And then when I grew up, it never even came to mind to see. So the only movie that I did want to see as a kid, I did want to see Star Wars. But I was never taken to the movies to see it. So then I forgot all about it, and now I don't care to see it. Because now, knowing how I am with movies, it's too many people to keep track of, and I don't like space movies like all of that and space TV shows unless I see it from the very, very, very beginning and I know what they're doing. But sometimes watching space movies, I don't understand why they're even out there. Like David was watching the Andromeda, that TV show, you remember?
I didn't care for that either, though.
I could not get into that because I didn't know why they was even out there.
All it was because Andromeda was a Gene Roddenberry production, but it was about the equivalent of watching Next Generation, and I just I couldn't get into it. I watched a few episodes, and I was just like, I
watched like 2 seasons.
I didn't. But I couldn't, I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah, I couldn't. I watched a couple of episodes, but I'm like, okay, the guy, he's been in stasis for like 500 years or something like that. And he wants to go back and reclaim Earth, and Earth doesn't even exist anymore. So what is he doing? And why are they just riding around in space all over the place? I just couldn't get into it. It's certain movies I just don't like.
Mhm.
I don't like those James Bond type movies where it's like espionage and we got to go find the girl and find the disc and do all that. I don't like that kind of stuff. Mission Impossible, that kind of movie. I don't like all that. And space movies and TV shows.
Yeah, you know what the thing is with the Transformer movie? Everybody was bummed that they killed Optimus. They killed Optimus and a bunch of other characters because they wanted to introduce new toys instead of remaking the old ones over and over again.
Mm.
And the although the movie was better drawn and better written than the television show.
Oh, Miss Kitty upset because of the fireworks.
Yeah, fireworks
Now
are
she
picking
crawling.
up. And she's crawling on the floor here. She's scared.
Terrified.
But it was better drawn and better written,
Mhm.
but people couldn't accept it because Optimus got killed,
Mhm.
and it had such a big impact that they had to change the G.I. Joe film because Duke and some of the other characters were supposed to die.
Yeah.
And you saw Duke have blood splatter out of him when he got hit with the snake.
Yeah.
But they had to change it.
I did see Freddy and Jason. Now, I did see a lot of horror movies on VCR tape because for some reason I was able to see that. It was around somehow. It got into the house and it was around, so I saw it. But the other movies, and it was never around, so I never saw it. I did like the Tom Hardy Bane. I like the Bane character, even in the animated series. The first movie I lined up to see with my entire family was Phantom Menace.
Second Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah, Darth Maul were very.
And there's Jar Jar.
The Holy Spirit.
Well, they didn't need Jar Jar. It was just a reinterpretation of Stan Laurel from Oliver and Hardy.
Oh.
And nobody wanted that. It made no sense. The subtlety of the humor of the interaction between R2-D2 and C-3PO in the original trilogy was enough humor. You don't want too much because it takes away from everything. Miss Kitty.
Yes, terrified Miss Kitty.
Live and Let Die. That's Roger Moore's first Bond film. When they finally got rid of Sean Connery because the studio hated him, and it's probably Sean.
Oh, it's midnight. Hold on, let me put on. I made the caption. Go ahead.
It's probably Sean.
Happy New Year.
It's probably Roger Moore's best James Bond film.
Oh, okay. Oh Lord, I don't know where we are.
Yeah, see what you did. Sorry.
I saw. Okay, I know where we at. We're right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We're right
you
there.
already.
Okay.
That's what we were just talking about. But Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
If you're in our time zone.
Yeah. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
Is
Eastern
the New Year.
Standard Time. And Child's Play.
Child's Play.
And Sending You to the Land Before Time.
Love both. Creep Show freaked me out.
And Happy New Year.
Yay!
Thank you for all the heart. Well, we try. Well, we enjoy doing it. We enjoy sharing with the community. And because it's the new year, we have to have sex bots in the chat here.
Yeah, because that's how it goes. Yeah.
I saw
Porky's had a lot of my favorite movie moments.
The first one was better.
It's official. Happy New Year's, everyone.
Apparently.
Yay. Happy New Year to everybody. Hey, Donald. And on the East Coast.
On the East Coast, yes.
Okay.
Now everybody can go back to sleep.
I like G.I. Joe, the movie, too, Duke. I like the movie. I thought the movie was pretty fun. I wish they had went into telling more of Cobra Commander's like origin.
Yeah.
They kind of did.
Well, you never saw Duke again after he got hit. I know he was laying there with the wound in the wrong place. But after they took Duke away, you never saw him again. They just get a radio call and somebody says, "Hey, Duke's going to be all right," but you never saw him again because
Yeah.
he died in the original storyline.
Yeah. No, we don't need to have no watch party of me watching the Star Wars, because I'm not gonna know what's going on, and I'm not gonna be able to keep track of all these people.
It's not that many. The original is the best, and especially Empire. Especially Empire Strikes Back is the best. And I saw all three in the theater
Oh
as a
yeah.
child. So, I did see all three in the theater.
I mean, I had a hard.
I didn't care for the Ewoks though.
I thought I was doing good with the Matrix until everybody said the last one. I couldn't get the last one, the third Matrix.
Oh yeah.
I got the first one. I think I figured out what that one was about, but I don't know. I'm getting better with my movie watching and understanding thanks to Dave.
Yeah.
Hey,
at least you finally got to find out how come Cobra Commander always wore a mask.
Yeah, because his face was looking like
it was already deformed from the laboratory experiment. That's why he had all those eyes.
Yeah. But I still wish they had went into more detail, because it was more about the Cobra Law people and the Cobra people and who he was, because he was I guess a doctor. He worked in a lab, and what was going on, why he became Cobra Commander, who was he working for.
Well, the Cobra Law sent him out to subvert the world. And it makes you almost wonder if he wasn't screwing things up on purpose because he didn't want to. Maybe he was an underdog the whole time and nobody ever realized.
Oh, he got payback in the DC animated show. What show is that?
He had a cameo in a couple episodes of the Transformers too.
Yeah, the
Snake Eyes movie was
pretty bad.
Terrible.
We saw it. I didn't like it because it took away from the Snake Eyes you knew from the cartoon. And I just thought, this is kind of ridiculous, the whole thing. So they made it look like it's going to be another one. And that in the Snake Eyes movie, I like Storm Shadow. I was all about Storm Shadow. I understood what he was about, and Snake Eyes just kind of ruined it.
Yeah, Snake Eyes was terrible, and they ruined the whole lore of the character with the way that they rewrote it. Yeah, I remember that.
Y2K whenever. Yeah, I was in the military. I was stationed in Korea, and I had duty that night, and everybody called the ask, "Is everything okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I was asleep."
And I knew I was really going to be disappointed when they introduced Scarlet.
Yeah,
that scene in the bathroom.
It's
like, oh,
yeah,
please.
And the Baroness was okay, because it was like, okay, whatever, you're the Baroness. But yeah, like who was that? Robert was saying, once he started talking, you knew.
Oh, Greg's got to go.
Hey, okay, Greg. Well, thank you for stopping in and chatting with us. Yeah, Storm Shadow always looks good. But yeah, once he started talking, I knew it was going to be kind of weird. But then I was like, well, they got to tell his story, and then it's going to get to where he becomes like the Snake Eyes, But then it never got to that point. So yeah. I was like, well, that's that. Oh, Cobra Commander got payback on Serpentor when he came back. Serpentor turned into a lizard. Okay. I don't know which one that was in. The worst for me as Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow was my favorite.
A lot of people really like those characters.
Really the only characters I cared about. But watching the G.I. Joe cartoon over again, Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes wasn't in there that much.
Yeah, and they really didn't have any interaction. It was always Storm Shadow and Spirit.
Yeah.
Actually, they were the ones that were always butting heads.
Yeah. And Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow rarely interacted.
And if they did in the comics, I don't remember.
Yeah. No, we're not from Oklahoma.
Yeah, somebody asking her from Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Nope.
no.
Craig Turner.
Mm-hmm. Wish the cats. Yeah.
They don't know
Wishing
the
them
difference.
cats
I got
happy New
Miss
Year.
Kitty sitting on me now because she's all freaked out because of the fireworks. So she's sitting here now, and the rest of them are probably upstairs, all huddled in a pile somewhere, scared to death.
Yeah,
But you
probably
know,
in the laundry
animals
room.
don't like that stuff.
Mm-mm.
They do not like all that noise.
And these people around here, they go on for a long time. If it's anything like last year, like I said, they shot fireworks off about an hour.
Oh, it's
It
all
was
right,
a
honey.
lot,
See,
but it's kind of calmed down now.
yeah,
not
go
that
to
much.
bed before I get out there. The other than I always liked Beachhead. I like Beachhead. I liked Sergeant Slaughter.
I didn't
on
like
on
Sergeant
G.I. Joe.
Slaughter.
Yeah, I like Sergeant Slaughter because of just the mythos of it, of him being an actual person
Mm-hmm.
and taking his WWF character or his wrestling character to G.I. Joe and portraying himself. And I think that kind of really made him a cultural icon for the time period.
Okay, Munis said he never watched the original. The original is on Tubi. Not all episodes, but a big bulk, enough for you to say, "Oh yeah, I want to see all of it," and then decide if you want to get the DVD
It's
set.
mostly the 5-part series that are on the Tubi.
Yeah,
and
a couple of the others.
Yeah, which is good because they had better writing when it was a multi-episode run together. If it was a 2-part,
Hey, William Randall, Happy New Year.
if it was a that's okay.
Mhm.
If it was a 2-part episode or a 5-part episode, because they did both, the writing was going to be good. If it was a single episode, it was a toss-up because some of the writing was pretty crappy.
Raccoon had a crush on Flint.
Oh, there's Patty.
Hey, Patty. How are you?
Thanks for joining us this evening.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Knowing is half the battle. I used to like the PSAs at the end.
PSAs were goofy.
Version 2 of Figures, anyways. He looks the part.
You know who's got some real serious PSAs that you would never expect?
Who?
Is Mask. At the end of Mask, where the kid is gonna the kid's out there hitchhiking, and he's like he's out there with, who's it, Scott is the little kid.
The little son.
And he was like, "Hey, isn't that so and so?" And he was like, "Yeah, maybe we should ask him to come with us instead of hitchhiking. It could get pretty dangerous. You could get hurt, or you could get hooked up with a pedophile." And it's like, wow, okay, we're going there with it, huh?
No, he said molested by a pedophile.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He said, or he was like, you could get hit by a car or molested by a. It's like, whoa, you just kind of threw that.
Yeah, it's like, wow, they're not kidding. Mask, rewatching Mask has turned out to be probably one of the best after-school television series shows that we've seen, because we've been rewatching a lot. Masters of the Universe, Brave Star, G.I. Joe, all of those.
Cops. Cops.
Mask is surprisingly good. I think it's pretty underrated. Big Lots has that?
I guess.
Oh my.
Have you seen Pork Chop Sandwich PSA? No.
I don't remember that.
Mm-mm.
I remember the hanker for a hunk of cheese guy. You remember him?
No.
Hey, Monster Diesel, where you been? Yeah, it was a PSA for eating healthy.
Yeah, Masters of the Universe had a PSA at the end.
Yeah, that's right. So did Brave Star.
Yeah, all of those shows.
A lot of them used to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite G-list Joe, Footloose.
Really?
Bazooka and Shipwreck. Footloose, I don't remember that one.
Footloose is the guy that talked like a surfer.
Oh yeah, man. I'm gonna have to watch some episodes. Experimental Angel.
Elemental Angel.
Where I get experimental? I just make up all kinds of words.
Yeah, what are you doing?
It's dead transforming.
Yeah, it's a vehicle that transforms into another vehicle. But it was an interesting concept. But the show is actually better written than you would expect.
Camaro Z28 and making a custom Thunderhawk for my
Occam's razor.
yeah.
Gay
2050.
Toys. Gay Toys is like processed plastic.
Okay. He's gonna make a custom Camaro Z28
Okay,
for his Thunderhawk.
for Matt Tracker. All right.
Matt Tracker. Big Lock has $5 and $10 figures.
Ollie's is clearancing out all those figures that they got for Christmas, all the legends and stuff. They get a ton of them. Masters of the Universe.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't film when we were in there, but we went in there to specifically to buy the comic books, and
To
we
check
saw
that out and see if they had them, and they did.
yeah, and it had a lot of toys, and it was the stuff that's no longer in like Target and Walmart. A lot of legends, some GI Joe stuff,
Yeah.
Masters of the Universe stuff. We were surprised at the stuff they had because we never been to Ollie's. Well, I think we had went like one time before.
Yeah, didn't really pay much
years
attention
ago.
to it.
But yeah, we were surprised by the amount and type of toys they had. I thought it would have been more like whatever you see at like Dollar General
Ollie's is
and
like a
Farm
big
Family Dollar.
Woolworths, basically. For those of you who remember Woolworths.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's this? I remember. Oh, you mean the character? Oh, I hated that character.
Hey, John.
John McJunkin is here. Happy New Year's. You're talking about Chuckles the G.I. Joe, not Chuckles the candy. I like the action figure. I still got him. He's down there somewhere. But those new figures that they introduced, or the new characters they introduced that came on in the film, Big Lob and Jinx and Chuckles and Tunnel Rat, I did not like the personalities. They were too primitive. Even as a kid, I didn't like them. And you'll notice that too, at being an adult and going back and rewatching it like we have, is with the G.I. Joe, with the writing, pay close attention to the dialogue. The dialogue, when the Joes are talking, sounds very dumbed down. It sounds like they're talking to a bunch of 10-year-olds. But then you go to the Cobra team, and their dialogue is very sophisticated in comparison. It's like the Cobra and the G.I. Joe were written by two different people entirely and just kind of mashed together. But those characters were very, very childish and adolescent and primitive, and I didn't care for them even then.
Yeah, like when Destro told the Baroness, "Oh, I have a new hole to show you. Come into my quarters."
Yeah, there's some adult innuendos thrown in with some of that
You're
stuff.
sitting there like, what?
Yes, if you wanted to experiment with some new judo holds, you'd drop by my quarters later on, stuff like that. Oh man.
If only
What's wrong with this kitty?
If only store like Big Lots and Five Below had articulated figures at that price. When they do have them, it's just sequel trilogy characters nobody likes.
Yeah, well,
they get all of the junk stuff or the clearance stuff that nobody wants.
It's stuff that's getting dumped down.
What?
To the next level. I hear all those things whistling.
Oh yeah, they're just going on now, and that's going to go on for a while. It's on and popping now. Hey,
LJ, where you been?
Stopping in to say Happy New Year's to you. Yay! Much love to you all.
Yeah,
in the chat.
Thanks for popping in.
LJ
does some live streams on his
channel.
He did
karaoke the other day.
Oh,
yeah. Listening to him do karaoke was fun.
Yeah, he does that from time to time.
Yeah, and having dinner, online dinner. It's cool.
Yeah. But flying G.I. Joe flying helicopter. I want the original. I don't like. I'm moving more and more away from getting the newer stuff.
Yeah.
So I'd rather concentrate on the vintage. I think I get a better sense of satisfaction out of it. And again, for those of you who didn't hear, who might not have been here when we first started, I've got this. I've by request, really, because a lot of people have asked since I bring it up so often, doing an in-depth demonstration of like vintage properties that are cheaper than their modern counterparts. So like the video, and I've spent a whole week working on this. Going to be showing you '90s properties that mint on the card, mint in the box are cheaper than you would think, like $10 to $50, and you know what these are, and it's a dozen different companies, and we're going to be looking at a few dozen different toy lines from those companies, different franchises, and if people like that, I can do it for the early 2000s, I can do it for the 80s and even the 70s. So that's, like I said, a lot of people have asked because I've made that comparison. Even like, for example, the Playmates. Playmates is making Star Trek figures again. You can get the original Playmates Star Trek figures from the '90s for less than they cost now, and the figures look pretty much the same, and the cards on the new ones are smaller. So, which would you rather have? The new one that costs more, or the original one? That because most of the time, especially if you go to the shows, you can find a lot of those Playmate Star Trek figures on the card for like $5-10. It's amazing how cheap they are.
Is there any vintage toy line that if they made you would be interested in?
A remake of a vintage toy line? I'm not sure. I guess I would have to see it,
Or is there a vintage line that was never made? If they make it, you would be interested in?
I don't know. A line that was never made.
Yeah, like for a TV show or a cartoon or movie or something like that. Like they never made figures for that, and then if they did, you would be interested in it.
I'd like a set of the Burger King gang.
Oh, okay. They never made that?
Not the Burger King Kids gang, but the original Burger King group that was supposed to be a copy of the McDonald's group, where they had like live action characters that they did in the late '70s and early '80s when they were more directly competing with McDonald's. The McDonald's got a set of figures, they did not. Although they did get
that big Burger King guy.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
There it is. That's the Magical Burger King mint in the box. That's as far as they ever got with that kind of thing.
I wish they would do a Bernstein Bears action figure.
Yeah, they never really did that except for the McDonald's prizes.
Yeah. I wish they would do one of those, and because it's only the 4. Well, they ended up having a baby later on, so 5 figures. Because you know they had like friends and stuff, but they weren't really shown that much. So if they were just to do like the 5 characters, I think that would be cool.
Yeah,
I would get that.
We appreciate that, LJ.
Yeah,
we really do. And what's this he was saying? Yeah, Swamp Thing is another example. The Swamp Thing figures are not that expensive, and they are from what, 1990? I think they're from
yeah.
And the ones I'm going to do are from 90 to 99. And like I said, if people, if people like that, because that's where the biggest bulk is. There's a lot of them right now that are really inexpensive. And again, I could do some from 2000s. I could do some from the 80s. There's 80s properties that are less expensive than you would think. But people, they usually think, oh, Thundercats or Silverhawks or G.I. Joe, they're so expensive. But
yeah, and they are.
Those are just the big ones.
Yeah.
But there's other ones that are just as interesting, but you may have forgotten about them, and they're not that expensive by comparison. K-Munin seems interested.
And Occam's Razor is moving away from loose figures. The carded stuff presents better. Loose is just too hard to manage and clean.
Yeah, that's true. And another thing about the carded also is you get the artwork, and it helps to set the period better. You get the aesthetics of it, the colors, the detail to the art. Some of this stuff has some fantastic art. Some of the old figures has some fantastic art. It's really interesting to look at and appreciate.
Yeah, I have some of the Bernstein Bears books. I buy them on eBay. Some of the original, I bought one of the new reissues from Walmart, but I mainly buy the original ones on eBay. They're not that much, and you can usually find them in lots. And the reason why I want the originals because lately, I think about 2 years ago, they started going in there and changing some stuff up. Because in one of the stories, brother and sister, I think mom and dad was telling brother and sister how they're different. Sister is a girl and brother is a boy. So they made, they changed that. I think they took that some of those wordings out of the book and changed the wording. So you got to be careful with that.
Excuse
So
me.
because of that, I try to buy the original stuff
Mhm.
because nowadays they'll just change stuff on you. And if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah, they did remake Teddy Ruxpin. They made him a lot smaller.
Mm.
And you know what's really cool? Teddy Ruxpin had action figures.
And he had a cartoon too.
Yeah, Saturday morning cartoon. Yeah, I think it was Saturday morning or was it after school?
I don't know, but I remember a cartoon.
My sister used to watch it, and that's why we got the action figures. And the action figures were made by Worlds of Wonder, and they're 1/18th scale.
I want the Visionaries
Yeah.
carded have for 3 to 4 years, but I
Mhm.
don't want to pay 100 to 200. Yes.
Visionaries is another one of those sexy properties, like the Inhumanoids, Brave Star, Masters
Yeah.
of the Universe. It's one of those ones that's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
Robert trying to be funny.
Yeah, Robert doing his own thing. Yeah. I like to see them do a reissue of My Pet Monster.
Those have gotten expensive too.
Oh,
The My
have
Pet
they?
Monster dolls.
And what about those goblins too? Haven't they?
Goblins?
Yeah. The ones in the box looking like they're in jail. Oh, Boglins.
Boglins. Yeah.
Sorry.
The
Boglins.
original ones are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
They can't. Well, I mean, and they're hard to find in decent shape because they are like that gelatinized rubber. But My Pet Monster. Somebody who was it? Oh, Super 7 made an action figure of a retro carded action figure of My Pet Monster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's the idea too, because it may be a figure that you remember. It may be a figure there, because I'm going to show a few dozen examples from 12 different toy companies.
Mm-hmm.
And it, maybe something you never thought of or you never realized they made figures of, that you're like, oh wow, I remember that, or I saw that show, or I saw that movie. It'd be cool to have those. And like I said, I don't think any figure I'm going to show or any toy line I'm going to show has figures that's more than $50 a pop.
Oh.
Or if there is, it's just one or two examples out of the whole toy line.
Edwin, we haven't heard from him in a long time. We've reached out, but we haven't heard anything, so can't give you any updates or information on how he's doing.
Oh yeah.
I would like to see Premium DNA do a Pet Monsters line. They make excellent stuff.
Yeah, we haven't heard from him in months.
Mm-mm.
So we don't know what happened to him.
No.
Edwin, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but that, like I said, those are just the ones that I want. Just the Bernstein Bears, I think.
They had dolls, but
yeah, and they had the plushies, but that's it. And I read up on it. The family is still alive. It was the mom and dad that made up stories for their kids, and their kids are now continuing with the stories, but they didn't want to franchise it out all over the place. So they were very, very limited on the stuff that they put out. But they did the thing with McDonald's. They had the books, and they put out the books, the McDonald's stuff, and then they had the DVD set, and that's basically all. They had the plushies, but they didn't want to go off and just do a whole lot of just random stuff and have their license all over the place and just lose sight of what they were doing. So
I remember Battle Beasts.
Mm-hmm.
Those
with the rub
cool.
hologram.
Figures. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And robotics. I remember T. Stewart talking about, you create them, you control them, who puts the future in your hands? Robotics. I didn't forget.
You forgot. No, you didn't forget that. You always just know all of that stuff. If you like My Pet Monster, check out Defensors and Temblers. They are made in Spain from the 90s and are inspired by My Pet Monster.
Oh, okay.
I never heard of those.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, it's made in Spain.
Well, yeah, it's made in Spain.
There's a lot of foreign pieces, foreign variants of stuff that was made overseas that never made it here, or that's connected loosely to another line, kind of like the OK Mics back here. You see some
from Italia.
These are Italy, right? Yeah, these are from Italy. They're made by Ferga, and they used components of Big Jim and from Steve Scout and combined them together to make the action figures. And I mean, who's ever seen those? You know, Dino Riders would have been a great movie. Yeah, you say that until it actually ends up being a film.
Then it's all CGI'd out, looking all weird.
Yeah, everybody thought that it would be a great idea to have Dolph Lundgren play He-Man too. And it's not a bad film, but it ain't He-Man. I mean, it's a fun movie to watch. Even though that guy cocked that shotgun one more time. Every time he tried it, the detective, he must have cocked that shotgun about 5 or 6 times before he actually fired it.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, you know, in real life, you drop a shell every time you do that.
Battle Beasts are my top spot. I have been collecting them since I was young. Another level of collecting, very high end. I wait years and years for pieces.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Yeah, because some pieces are just hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to track down, hard to finish a set. And, you know, you could be waiting years for a piece to pop up. And then when it does, it creeps up to a point where you're like, oh, God, I can't bid on this. I got to let it go. It happens.
Are you wishing that a movie would come out? Like they would make a movie of something, like one of your favorite characters that they, or comic book characters that they never made a movie of?
I don't know. If they did, especially if it's a comic book, I think I would rather see it animated rather than live action. Because a lot of things, and this is one of the biggest problems that they face with translating from a comic book to a film, it doesn't translate well because you're reading it. And even though there's pictures, you're still using your own imagination. So when they reimagine it for you and put it on the screen, it's never going to be the same. It doesn't look right. It doesn't feel right. And it's hard to translate it. That's why they alter things so much before it goes on film.
Yeah.
It's like, have you ever read, and this has always been done this way, who here has actually read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein versus watching the portrayal of it on film with Boris Karloff? Even Boris Karloff was pissed off because
he's played it.
Yeah, he took the part and he fought with them the whole time because he was angry, because he was like, what do you mean I don't speak? Because in the book he can talk and he's very highly intelligent. He has very intelligent dialogue. And he was like, I don't speak? Wait a minute. What did I get myself into? He was upset. But a lot of times things don't translate well, so they take a lot of liberties with it, and people get upset about that. So I don't know if they did do it. I think I would want to see it more so as an animated feature. Like I would like to see The Weird done. I think that was well done. Or Haywire from DC Comics. Things like that. Like tonight, for example, we saw the animated version of The Dark Knight Returns. Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. And it is very, very close to his 4-issue miniseries, with just a couple of minor exceptions, like when Superman gets hit by the nuke. There's thought bubbles in the book. He's thinking to himself something, but they didn't say anything when he got hit. So something was lost there.
Yeah.
But so I think it would work better if it was animated.
I like what DC does with the animation.
Their animated stuff's better than their live action stuff.
Yeah, and I hope that they don't lose that. I hope that they don't bring in these weird writers like they've been having in the Marvel and DC has been having trouble, I think, with their writers. But for some reason, the DC animated stuff is going over very well, and I hope they don't lose it and bring in all of these ridiculous writers that have nothing to do with comics and refuse to read the comic books, and they say, "Oh, we don't want it to be nothing like the comic." Then why make it? So I'm hoping they do more animated stuff, and that is real good.
Yeah,
Waiting years for any piece of literal,
it's literally
yeah,
frustrating.
you'd finally find it, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Something wrong with it.
Yeah, something wrong with it.
They have to try and cram as much in a 2 or 3 hour movie. It's almost impossible. That's when you spread it out like they did with Lord of the Rings. And the guy who was in charge of that project wanted to stick to the lore as much as possible.
Mhm.
And even though they cut a lot out, between the 3 films, they cut out almost 2.5 hours.
Mm.
But it's in the box sets.
Oh,
So you
okay.
can watch it complete. You can watch the definitive version. But what they did present, even though the films were still around the 3 hour mark, was enough that the Tolkien fans were satisfied with the original Lord of the Rings trilogy. If you get somebody who really cares about it, they'll do it right.
Hey, Stone Sour.
Oh, there you are. Where you been?
Gilgamesh says the DC Frankenstein is more like the Mary Shelley Frankenstein.
Okay.
Mary Shelley, he speaks and it's very old English proper. Okay, I never saw that one. I wish they do a RoboCop versus Predator with actual voice-over actors, just making movie CGI instead.
Well, they did RoboCop versus Terminator in Dark Horse Comics.
Oh, they did? Yeah, but he want a movie version of it.
A movie version.
Yeah.
Things don't translate well. And that was one of the huge, besides the deliberate bad writing, because we just saw a thing with She-Hulk, and she actually said that she wanted to troll people and trigger them. That she deliberately wrote it the way that she did. But even though the comic still did a lot of dumb stuff like that, the 90s comic, it was not a popular comic at the time. And again, even for people who enjoyed the comic, it doesn't translate well when you put it on the screen. Besides, the comic that everybody wanted them to do was Savage She-Hulk.
Right.
The 70s version.
I don't know, but they bringing in Daredevil, and they're already talking about how he's going to have a show on Disney, and I'm kind of nervous about that.
They said they're going to direct it more towards a
younger
audience. They, an adolescent, like their target area is 12-year-olds. And I'm like, oh no, they're going to kill it. If I was that guy, I wouldn't get involved in the project.
No, he in it now because he already talked about it. So he in it now.
The original Spawn wasn't that bad for the time period, for what they were trying to accomplish there, trying to cram Spawn into one film. I know, but there was a lot of weird, campy films like that during that time period, like Darkman, which I actually like. The first one, not part 2, 3, and 4. Just the first one was enough. But Darkman, some of the scenes in Darkman is actually kind of funny. The carnival scene is worth watching. Just the whole film's worth watching just to see the carnival scene.
No, I'm not getting any more Tweeterhead anything. I'm disappointed with the Tweeterheads I got.
Yeah.
So I will not be getting any more. Plus, I already got a Skeletor. I have the Sideshow Skeletor, and I'm happy with that one. But I'm not into the Tweeterhead, because like I said, when I got the Hordax, they look amazing on that picture.
Everything looks good in the picture.
Yeah, with all of the smoke and the lights, and then you get it at home and it look like garbage.
That's why you have to watch reviews and hope that whoever's doing the review isn't a shill.
Yeah, but then by the time you watch the review, that means they already got it, and then you buying it on the aftermarket. So you're trying to take a chance on, like, okay, I looked at these pictures. I know the Tweeterhead company, Sideshow, premium format, XM Studio, Queen Studio, and you got to go on that. But honestly, at that point, I had never bought anything from Tweeterhead.
Yeah.
But I'm just going on the pictures and it looks so good. I won't do that no more.
I never saw the animated Spawn.
Oh, they had a Spawn animated?
Yeah, I never saw it.
Me neither.
He didn't like Logan because it wasn't like the comic either, and they said it was going to be like the comic. Yeah, they say all kinds of things.
They always tell you that to hook you in and to make you want to watch it.
Yeah.
And then you see it and you're like, this is some garbage. Did
No.
you get your Mondo exclusive He-Man in the mail yet?
I didn't get it yet.
Aren't you getting that next week? They sent you a letter.
Yeah, they sent me a thing saying that it's about to be shipped. So we'll see. I might be, yeah. I know I haven't done a showcase in a while, and I haven't done a catalog tour in a while either.
That He-Man Tweeterhead, He-Man and Battle Cat from Tweeterhead was a lot. Wasn't that like over $1,000?
I don't remember.
I think so.
It was expensive.
Yeah, it was expensive. I want to say it was over $1,000, but it looked like the Sideshow He-Man and Battle Cat because I already had the Sideshow He-Man and Battle Cat. So it was like, okay, I got one. So you didn't really need the others. But I think it was over $1,000, I think. Do you have any goals for the new year? I want to try to keep my toy budget. You wrote that. I saw that on the thing on our video. Keep your budget at $2,000 for the whole year. Wow. That's a good goal.
My goal is to break necks and cash checks.
He was calm for a long time. And I thought whatever that spell he had on him was gone. But I see that it's back. No new collection tour.
Why not?
Well, you can do one on your side. I ain't doing nothing. But anyway, my goal for this year.
And you think I'm bad?
We just did a tour. Nothing's changed.
I am bad, but other rappers know. When I enter the center, they say, "Hey, yo, there he go." You know my paycheck's large because Mr. Bogart's in charge.
I'm so embarrassed right now.
Where's that from? Somebody knows.
I wish I could just be invisible.
Somebody knows where that's from. Somebody
invisibility now. Invisibility now. I was gonna answer that question before you got your little spell came over you. But anyway, I have some goals. I'm gonna. Can you move, please? Get out the way. Because I don't know what's wrong with you. And he doesn't drink or anything. He doesn't drink alcohol. I know y'all probably think he's drunk. But he doesn't drink alcohol.
I don't drink at all.
He just act like that. So imagine if he did drink alcohol.
At least I'd be a friendly drunk.
Anyway, my goal.
I love you, buddy. Yeah, I just want to let you know. Not the drunk that wants to fight everybody. You know that guy.
Can I answer William's question?
Oh, sure, now? By all means.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My goal, I want to buy one record a month. That's my goal.
Okay.
At the least one record a month.
Yes.
I'm going to try. I got, like I said in that one video, I got some comics I want to get, and like I said, if I can get at least one a month, I'll be winning. I want to work on getting my Masters of the Universe vehicles, and I don't need a lot of vehicles. Like the Battle Ram and what's that? Attack Track, stuff like that. That kind of thing. So that's what I'm gonna be working on this year, because I got to get my budget down too. Yeah. Oh yeah, we looked.
He said that his box got the crap kicked out of it.
Ooh, straight David style. They went to town on it, but luckily Mono Pack's good, and it was great inside. Outer box was destroyed.
I think we've seen that guy, haven't we?
Who?
Batman statue collector.
Yeah.
20,000 in back orders for 2023. You hear some of these guys talking about that. Oh, I've got 27 statues on pre-order.
We see this one guy. I haven't seen his channel in a while. You remember the
You're all right,
guy?
Kitty?
He buys like 20.
Everything.
Yeah, he buy like 20, 30 statues a month. And then he said it. The UPS and FedEx is so fed up with him, they literally throw his packages now.
Yeah, he was saying that almost every one he's got to do a repair.
Yeah, he got to do some type of repair, and he does his own like customizations and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. Reminds me of my 16-year-old son when I embarrassed him. Cringe day.
Oh yeah.
So cringe. That's David. Great to hear, David. I don't drink or smoke.
Yeah,
either.
I don't need any of that.
No, because you see how
No.
he act now.
Oh, come on. That's not why.
And you see, William Randall trying to wait. He's staying up to listen to our comments, and
What
you
answer?
acting crazy.
Answer to what?
What's your goal for the year?
I don't have any goals.
David just do all kind of stuff. He
That's
just
right.
go to the show and just pick up stuff.
I just act. Well, we did our collecting goals video like a week ago.
Yeah.
If you're talking about collecting goals, we just did that.
Barbara Walters died?
Yeah, the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Yesterday or today.
Oh, yeah, Kirstie Alley died in the White Power Rangers.
That's right.
What? Statue way too much.
Some of them are very
Some of them are.
expensive.
I'm backing off on statues. I got enough.
Yeah, I'm out on the Mondos. That 40th anniversary is the last one I'm probably going to get.
They got a lot of stuff coming out
It's
this
too
year.
much. I can't keep up.
We saw the projection. Wasn't it like 7 figures coming out this year alone, 2023?
Well, no, yeah.
I think it's like 7 figures.
So far for 2023 already.
Yeah.
And it's like, God, slow down. They went from putting out one every about 4 months to, from the time that Funko bought them,
Mm-hmm.
they had 3 Hordaks, another Skeletor, the
Like
Battle
2 He-Mans?
Cat, a new He-Man to go with the Battle Cat, a 40th anniversary He-Man, 40th anniversary She-Ra. It's like, holy crap, what happened? All in the span of like 3 or 4 months. And I'm like, I can't do that. I can't afford all that. It's too much.
And it was nice when they would come up with stuff like you said, every 6 months or so, because then you had time to save up your little bit of pennies. But now we saw the thing about a month or so, month and a half ago, and it was showing the projections, and it's already for 2023.
The Panther,
like 7.
Trapjaw, they
I think a merman, a Tila.
They got a whole bunch of stuff lined up already. That they get prototypes on, and it's like, no, it's too much, and the prices keep going up.
Yeah,
the last couple of figures they put out, every figure they put out is more expensive than the previous one. And when you figure when they started, the He-Man was only, I think it was like in the 170 range. 160, 170 was the first one. And look how far they got already. He's going to be in the 500 plus range.
Yeah. I wonder if he's going to come with the headdress. And they're going to put out another Skeletor to go with it, even though Panther was never ridden in the cartoon.
He was never that big either.
No.
He just kind of hung around.
Yeah, and he was always with Evelyn. He didn't even like Skeletor. He was always with Evelyn in the cartoon. The couple of times they showed him in the cartoon, which wasn't that much, he was always with Evelyn. He was never ridden. So how they got to that, I guess they just needed a companion for Battle Cat, because they always seem to have one, to match the other.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I would like to see it because we saw the pictures of it and they do look good.
Yeah, they look fantastic.
But man, that cost.
I'd love to have them, but I think with the 40th anniversary, I've got to draw the line, and it's a shame because I do like the series. But that Hordak was to date the most expensive one I had bought. It was the 3rd Hordak because they had the regular one, the Mondo exclusive, and then the Filmation colored version, and I got the Filmation one, and I was disappointed with it. The quality was off
Oh, was it?
on that figure. I was not happy with that quality at all. So, because that's the last review I did, I was like, oh, if they're going to keep raising the price and their
Mhm.
quality is slumping, I don't know if I'm going to keep going. And I ordered the 40th one, and we'll see. I'll
Mm.
do an unboxing of it when I get
So
it.
once you get that one, how many He-Mans will you have?
Just two,
Okay, just
because I
two.
had the original deluxe
Yeah.
version
Yeah.
He-Man, and then the 40th anniversary.
Mm. And
Because
what's going to be different, I wonder?
well, it comes with a lot of different accessories
Oh, okay.
and a little bit different sculpting.
Mm.
But there was the regular and the deluxe, and then there's the a special edition one they did to go with the Battle Cat, and then this one that's four already. And then the Skeletors, I think they've made more than Skeletor than anybody. The regular, the deluxe, which is the one that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Then they did the Motubi version.
Mm.
They had the Hot Topics one.
Yeah.
They got another one. Oh, actually, yeah, they get another Skeletor schedule too. Now that I think about it,
Graham Randall is only collecting Origins figure, and Robert wonder who's doing better, Hasbro and Mezco Super 7 NECA, and who's not. You're never going to get the truth out of that.
look at their stock. That'll tell you
Yeah.
everything you need to know.
If they're publicly traded, I don't know if
Super
NECA
7
and
might
Super
not be,
7
but
is.
yeah.
But Hasbro and Mezco might not be. Hasbro is. I personally love the Mondo Master User line, but wow, did they destroy my wallet this year? I live in Australia, and they go for almost $500
Yeah.
a piece.
It's expensive. It's going up all the time. It's getting up there, and that's between that and the frequency. It put me off.
Oh, Panther comes with 3 heads. You got to see the reveals Mono showed him off. Pixel Dan had a video on it. His alternate head is amazing and huge. Oh, I'm gonna look. I didn't, because when we saw
amazing how he gets his so far ahead of schedule. I bet he had a great review.
He didn't. He didn't say that he reviewed it. It showed the thing. He didn't say he reviewed it.
Well, we showed the pictures on the roundup.
Not of the ones coming up. Not a Panther, did you?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, you did?
We showed the Panther. Mm. If he's reviewing the Panther, I don't want to know. I don't usually show Diamond Select figures.
Mm-mm.
I don't think their quality is terrible.
You do?
Diamond Select?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You used to have a lot of Diamond Select stuff. Those big ones.
Yeah, I only kept a couple. I kept the one that you gave me. But I got rid of a lot of the Diamond Select. They're very difficult to display, and they're not very good quality.
Ooh. Gnomsky says that he regrets passing on the Diamond Select Real Ghostbusters line. Mm-hmm. From them was great, and I wish I had it now. The deluxe ones, they were hard to display. I have the smaller Mego-like looking ones. The Universal Monsters, I like that, and they look good. The sculpt is nice, and I like that they're mixed media. Mm-hmm. So those are good. Did you, if you did a toy line, what would you do or fix toy wise? If you did a toy line, what would you do or fix?
I don't know. I would probably want to do the Shogun Warriors, but I would do them in the traditional like 70s Japanese pulpy style, as opposed to, because the ones that Super 7 kind of does it now, it's not quite the same, mm-hmm. but it's a nod to the Mattel Shogun Warriors line from the 70s, mm-hmm. but that line is still missing something, because the ones that were made by Popey that they're copying are nuts. Mm. There's a lot more detail. There's a lot more accessories. There's a lot more fire and missiles. NECA couldn't keep Target stock. Really, there's a ton of them out here.
Yeah. The shelves is just full. Pixel Dan went to the Mondo headquarters.
Oh,
that's how nice. He got to see it. What do you think that these toy creators can do to make the figures more appealing?
Actually listen to their customers would be nice instead of making fun of them on social media or ignoring them. That might help. Correct some of the problems that have been problems for years
Mm-hmm.
that they never fixed. Like how with Mezco, all their female figures, their knees break or they don't stay on the pegs,
Mm-hmm.
or how like NECA, the elbow joints crack off, or all the paint applications chip off. Maybe some decent card art, because some of them they don't even bother, or it's really rudimentary. The smartest thing that GI Joe, actually Hasbro's GI Joe Classifieds, did this year, and they only did it to make more money off of the exact same figures,
Mm-hmm.
was to start reissuing the Classified series figures on a big blister card instead of in a box. But they knew that.
Yeah.
Like when they released the first wave
Mm-hmm.
of 5 figures and everybody whined about the paint applications, you didn't think Hasbro didn't know that was going to happen? And what happened? They reissued the same exact 5 figures with different paint. Because that's the game. That that's what they do. But God, they all used to listen to the consumer was king.
Mm-hmm.
If you had a product complaint and there was enough of them, these toy companies would address it. Now they don't care.
No. Things are starting to stay in stock in Canada, or at least in his area.
Mm-hmm.
And Robert says, "You love wrestling. What would you want from that toy line?" I just want a couple of more of the wrestlers that I like a Bob Backlund, and it seemed like I saw it one time.
Mm-hmm.
But I like what they do with the wrestlers. I only buy the classic wrestlers. I don't buy the new stuff. These newer wrestlers that I don't know. I don't buy those. The ones that I have, I like because they're the classic wrestlers that I remember. The only wrestler that I would want now that I don't have is Bob Backlund, because he is my favorite wrestler, and I would like to have a Paul Bearer. They finally made a China, which I was actually surprised.
Yeah,
that they
because
did.
they tried to
China.
pretend like she didn't exist.
Yeah, after all went down with her, they kind of pushed her and away, and kind of like almost, well, she was never a part of wrestling, but she was. And but yeah, that's all I would want from wrestling. I would like to have a Paul Bear figure and a Bob Backlund. That's a strength on NECA. Great box art for their figures.
Yeah, but you can't see the figure unless you open it.
Yeah, because it got the open flap.
Yeah.
We'll come back.
ROM Space Knight.
I guess Backlund's cool. Yeah, he was my favorite wrestler growing up. Next to I liked him and the Undertaker were my two favorites. I think I like him more than the Undertaker though, but the Undertaker is around more and he's more visible, so I really like the Undertaker, but I love Bob Backlund too. And they don't. I think I seen one time, like I said, that they had a Bob Backlund figure. Google No Holds Barred X VCR and the really great cover. I think you might
that
like
movie's
it.
Funny.
Classic picture.
That movie is funny.
Oh yeah,
with Hulk Hogan. Yeah.
I think I've heard of it. I know I never saw it. I'm waiting for the Wrestling Wave 4 for Mr. T.
What is that smell? That movie's hilarious.
Mr. T figure. I thought that wave came out already with
really?
Mr. T. I thought
Didn't
it did.
Well, they've done a few.
That is true. And they always keep doing the same thing. It seemed like over and over and over again. Did you see Hacksaw Jim Duggan defend his home? I've heard that.
Yeah, we heard that.
Yeah, I heard that recently on the news. Yeah, I'm like, whoa, he can still throw down, I guess. Would you want a new Undertaker figure? Maybe Paul Bearer with Mean Gene figure. I won't mind a new one. I mean, I don't really have a lot of I have some 90s figures, Jack specific, and a couple of LJNs. But I would take, well, and I do have a lot of the new Undertaker, so I don't want any more Undertaker figures. I got a ton of Undertaker figures, but no Bob Backlund and no Paul Bear. So those are only two. I think I do have a Mean Gene though. I have one of him. So I'm surprised you don't have any Mr. T.
I want the ones from Galoob.
You got some Mr. T, don't you?
No, not anymore.
But I thought you had some from the 18.
No, I got the 18 Villains pack from Galoob, the 3 3/4 inch.
Intergender. What does that mean? That means men and women, men are fighting women or women are fighting men? Because when China was there, she was the only female wrestler and she fought the men. It was rare though. I mean, it wasn't like every week, you know. And for some reason when China did it, it was acceptable. You know, it was like it didn't matter for some reason. But now, I don't know. I think it's proven a point. But then China looked like she could. She looked like she could stand up, not to like all of them, but to some of them. She looked like she, but then she would always pull that move where she hit them between their leg and then that. But it's still, when China did it, it just, I don't know, it just felt different. But now hearing it, it don't feel like it sounds like they're doing something else. This is the second wrestling line with the I quit getting that. I was getting the Motu wrestling figures, but I think they're past wave 3. I thought they were already on wave 4 or 5. I don't know, but I know I got a bunch of them because I was sticking with it, and then it kind of stopped for a while, and then I don't know what they're doing now because I don't know. But I'm out of that now. They need to bring back midget wrestling. I remember that.
Doink the Clown traveled with a midget.
Pee-wee.
He ate Mr. T cereal.
China was awesome. The new girls, most don't.
Well, they're more models.
Yeah. She was different. She wasn't, I mean, she was a wrestler, but she wasn't, I don't think she was even considered a diva because that's before the divas. And she was like the first one. I know she wasn't the first female wrestler. I'm not saying that, but she was like one of the first ones on WWF at that time. She was the only one at that time on WWF.
That was getting showcased anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. But she was, I don't know. It's just everything went down with her. I wish she had did more in the way of real legitimate acting instead of going over to pornography and then doing all that she did and all that. I thought she was a good wrestler, but you know, things went down and it just didn't turn out right for her. Rest in peace. What's this one saying? K Munin is saying apparently male versus female wrestler because
well, we don't watch any of the modern stuff. You know, for us the cutoff point is about 95.
Yeah, 95, 96ish. Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero has passed away long since. Yeah, a long time ago. But anyway, wow, it got late. It is well past midnight.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Well, where we are. And it's the latest we've ever been on for a live stream.
It's way past our bedtime.
So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. And want to say thank you to everybody for joining us this evening. We appreciate it. We hope you all had a good time. We hope you have a good year.
Yeah.
And hey, stay tuned. we have plenty of things planned, and we hope that you.
Hey, my mom just showed up.
Oh wow, you're up late.
She went to church, and she's just getting back probably.
Oh, that's likely.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate everybody, and we'll have to do this again sometime soon.
Yeah, thank you all for spending this time with us. So we will see you guys later. Happy New Year!